Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Happy Monday. There is no such thing as Happy Monday. For most people, it is a Happy Monday for me because I don't work for the white man. But we are here to kick off yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is October 2nd. This is the greatest month of the year for a couple reasons. One, it is my birthday this month. I am a couple weeks away from being 35. I'm very excited about that. And also, this is the greatest sports month of the year because you got college football, you know what I'm saying, that's going on almost every other day at this point now. We got NFL. We in the full swing of the NFL season. MLB Playoffs kicks off tomorrow. We definitely going to be previewing the wild card round today. And we got NHL hockey. Today is media day, so the NBA is back. Every sport is going to be on television, man. So we've got a loaded show. We got the whole crew will be coming in simultaneously. You know, we got everybody going. You know, we got Bang, Mikey, Dante, Courtney be joining in the second hour. We got the homie Jake Mintz from MLB on Fox will be joining us in the second hour to also preview the MLB playoffs. But let's take a look at the local hour rundown, man. We've got the local hour first because of all the crap that's going on at 1920 Football Drive and also in Soldier Field. We're going to start off with a recap of Bears Broncos from last night. We're going to talk about how can we judge Justin Fields' performance. Then we're also going to talk about the news that came down after this rundown was made that Chase Claypool is no longer with the teams. We're going to talk about that. So let's just bring my guys in right now. We got Mikey, we got Bang, and we've got Dante here, man. We all here. You know where to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Barbchair Scott, at Octoberzone Tate, at JR Bang, at Solito_Jr. On Instagram, and on Twitter is Junior_Solito. You can follow him on both of those, man. Subscribe to the patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. Follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram, man. So everybody who listened to 79th and Hallis, everybody who listened to my on-field video yesterday, which not only was I angry at the loss, I was tired because I feel like I walked like 4 miles. I had to go all the way upstairs to get the camera because my brother forgot the camera in the press room. And anybody who's been to Soldier Field know that's not a short walk from the locker room to the press room all the way back. If anybody watches that, you know how I feel about what went on. So I'm gonna give the floor to my esteemed panel here about how they're feeling. You know, how was you guys' weekend and you know about the Bears?
I mean, disappointing. I mean, even though Justin Fields did have a very good 3 quarters before, you know, the 2 turnovers in the fourth, and, you know, once again, play calling went away from him. He was hot all game. Him and DJ Moore had a connection, and yet again, we saw them start to play scared football. I saw my defensive coach let a 28-7 lead go away. They got carved up by Russell Wilson in that second half. He had 3 touchdowns, and overall, it's just disappointing. And I hate to, as you know, if anybody who's watched this and watched anything with me and Scott, I usually love telling y'all I told you so. But this is actually one of those weeks where it's like it wasn't fun. Like me and Scott were arguing when the Bears were up 28-14, and by the time we finished arguing, they were tied 28-28. So like it's something that we've all seen. It's the same shit, different day. And unfortunately, I tend to believe that if they lose again on Thursday, which is likely, nothing's gonna change. So I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like, where do you go? We're past moral victories at this point. Yeah, Justin did this, but I saw Mitchell Trubisky light up the Bucs. So, you know, I'm sure you can go back and find games where Rex Grossman lit the shit up. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, when are we going to consistently see this from this football team? And, well, I can't even say see this because we lost the damn game. So, it's just another week with the Chicago Bears, more questions, where do we go from here? That's all I got.
Yeah, man, that was a very spirited debate in the group chat. I was Mr. Hey, man, everything's good. I was like that video of that little kid. Remember that video of that little kid? He's like, it's not them. It's the coaches. It's the coaches. That's how I felt yesterday. I was drinking the Bears Kool-Aid. The vibes were good. It was loud in Soldier Field. And Dante was like, oh, here y'all niggas go again, falling for the same thing. And I'm like, hey, man, we got to be happy, man. We got to be happy.
I'm a glass half full. I'm a glass half full type of guy.
Yeah, that's exactly who I am.
The man told me, he said, if that's how you feel, you don't need to be a fan. Like, that's how I knew. I said, no. I said, this nigga's mad. I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm not going to say nothing else. Scott is upset. And then it just fell off the rails like it always does. Every week. 35 years old. I've been seeing this shit for 24. Like, it is what it is, bro.
I did say
Scott
that.
Scott was like that the little Mexican kid in the bus. Was like, guys, if we believe together, Dante's in the back. Shut the fuck up. Bro, it went from one text to I put my phone down to go back to watch the game. I go back. There's 40 messages. Y'all going back and forth at it. But I mean, you know, like Dante said, you know, this was one of the moments where he didn't want to have to say I told you so, but he, you know, the Bears did that thing where they reared their ugly head again, and you know, for 3 quarters we saw what Justin Fields could be, what we all anticipated he would be. You know, when the Bears traded up for him in the draft and drafted him, and you know, decided to move forward with the new quarterback post Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, post, you know, Andy Dalton, all that. But you know, then the fourth quarter, it felt very similar to the games that we saw last year, where the offense had some continuity. There was a flow to the play calling. The plays made sense, and then in the second half, it felt like they were tanking. Like, you know, it felt like they were tanking. So, you know, we saw what we wanted to see out of Justin, but then again, you know, the turnovers, man, the turnovers. He's played 31 games as a starter. He has 32 fumbles, you know. He's got a problem, you know, holding on to the ball, and, you know, the defense. You know, you can't let at the end of the day, Justin Fields, you know, people can say what they want about the strip sack and he lost them the game. Justin Fields didn't lose them the game.
All right. Well, I guess Mikey got kicked out the car. I don't know what happened. You know, he's doing the show from his Maybach, so he should be back in a minute. But to kind of echo what he was saying, I guess what he's saying is, like, this isn't on Justin Fields, but he also had a part in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the same time, you know, it feels like you can't blame him, but I think, like, what kind of what everybody's been saying, like, I felt like towards the end of the game, it was more of a, you know, it was coaching for sure, but I kind of felt like even the pass he did, he was a little tight, because I don't think he expected to, you know, for the game to, you know, get to that point. So I kind of feel like that's probably what he was talking about. But Bang, how you
Scott,
feel while we try to get Mike in there?
Scott, let me ask you this question, because this goes back to a debate that we had. Remember when you told me that, you know, you would rather have Deshaun Watson? I was like, I want Jamal Adams, but you was like, nah, I want Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. You bringing up a throwback debate from like 6 years ago.
One of the main reasons why you said that you would rather have Deshaun Watson, because he was a proven commodity in championship level games. When I watched that game, right, and thinking about what Mikey had said, it made me think, is Justin talented? Yeah. Did he show what he can be in 3.5 quarters? Yes. But I also think he showed us what he is in that half that he sucked at. And what I mean by that is that I don't think that Justin has the testicular fortitude to win games like that. I feel like that game kind of showed me who I'm a Justin Fields fan. I hate Ohio State, but I like Justin Fields. But it made me feel like he's a front runner and not somebody that can really truly finish a game.
I'm gonna hit you with Nori. What do you mean by that?
because
Dude, Nori.
I was sitting up there. I was sitting after the game in the same spot. I would show you that spot if it wasn't messy right now. But I was sitting in that spot and I was saying to myself, yeah, coaching sucked that last part of the game. But I was looking at Bryce Young, because they were showing a clip of Bryce Young talking to the team. The nigga didn't play. Nigga ankle was hurt. Nigga didn't play. But Bryce Young brought all of the team together and was basically like, look, gave them the whole speech and everything. I don't even remember if they won or lost. They lost because we all 0-4. But the fact of the matter is he brought that team together. And I was thinking about Justin and what y'all was saying, that he was sitting up. And yeah, Justin's been in the league longer, so I totally understand you get a game like this. But then I was thinking, damn, where Justin be at in times like this? Is Justin the person that's going to bring the whole team together? Nah, he's more introverted. So how can he show it? He could show it on the field. So it's hard for you to show that type of leadership on the field when, whether it's coaching, bad decision or not, you fumble and they score 6 off of it. Whether it's cold commit fault or not, you throw an interception to end the game. Whether it's a coaching decision or not, 4th and 1 happens. I don't see Justin as the quarterback we want in Chicago, and I need what we want, because Justin is just not an aggressive person. And it made me think, like, if for all of these things that I love about Justin, at the end of the day, he's not a quarterback that I particularly want in Chicago, because he's not going to get in your face. He's not going to grab your face mask and be like, yo, nigga, let's go. He's not that, yo, nigga, let's go person. Yeah. So when you have a person like that, and that person says, you know what, I lead by my play on the field, and that's your play on the field in crunch time, it solidified everything to me. I think Justin will turn out to be a great quarterback. I think Justin is going to be one of those quarterbacks where he's going to go to another team and everybody in Chicago is going to be like, see, this is what happens when players leave Chicago. They sure get better and all of that. But I also think in the long term, he's not a quarterback that we're used to, and he's not a quarterback that we want. I need a quarterback that's going to pull his team together and be like, look, we got this shit no matter what. And that's what makes the whole Jaquan Brisker thing makes even more sense. Yeah, when he's calling him saying, yo, we need more juice. Jaquan want a quarterback that's going to be like, fuck this shit, battery in the back, let's go. And that's just not Justin.
That's true. You bring a good point. We can bring back to Mikey. He's back in the room.
No, I agree with you. The one thing I won't agree with is the title of front runner. But what I see what you're getting at is the same thing I think of. Justin isn't a win because of quarterback. He's got to have everything, around. Everything's got to go right. You know what I'm saying? Cole Kmet's got to run the right route, and he's got to have a tight end with some balls to get in front of the DB's face. You know what I'm saying? Regardless on the pick he threw, Cole Kmet did a shitty job of fighting for his quarterback and fighting for that ball. You know what I'm saying? But Justin isn't a win because of God. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, before, Joe Burrow when he's healthy, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, right. Healthy Joe Burrow, right. Josh Allen when he's on, and Aaron Rodgers. Like, those are guys that you could drop them in any offense, any team in the National Football League, and you're going to win a game because of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll put you in the right spots, and Justin just isn't that guy right now. And, I don't want to shit on him because he looked comfortable. He was doing everything, like, there were 2 times when he had a blitz coming at him, and he stood in the fucking pocket. He prepared himself for the hit, and he made the throws that he needed to make to his wide receivers, to his playmakers. But he just has a propensity to play loose with the football. And in the times that we need it the most, in the fourth quarter, that can't happen. I understand that on the naked boot, they were saying that Matt Ryan and Rondé Barber were talking about it on the broadcast. Just stop doing it. Stop doing it. These edge defense, these edge players.
Play.
Yeah, they're not
and he
running. They're
fucking
no
played.
longer. They're no longer being faked. When you got a running quarterback, I'm just gonna run straight at the fucking quarterback. I'll let if the running back gets loose and then you end up getting it to him, cool. But I'm fast enough. I'm gonna just run straight to you, and that's what happened. And I get it. Justin had to make a play, and I know in his press conference he said they have a no sack rule on nakeds, on bootlegs. But fuck that. You gotta tuck that shit. You have to tuck it.
Hold on, Mike. Hold on.
Yeah,
They got a what?
They got a no sack. He said when they
can't take a
run
sack on the
bootleg,
boot.
they can't take a sack on the boot. So that's why he was so thirsty to kind of let it go and you see it fall out. But you gotta know and it goes into Scott's point too about the loss of downs. You gotta know, you gotta have that situational awareness. You know what I'm saying? That situational awareness. So at the end of the day, listen, from now on, our season is done. We're 0-4. We already know the history for 0-4 teams. 0-3 was already bleak, but we had a chance. 0-4 is cooked. It is what it is. Now, if Justin could play at 75 to 80% of the level that he played at yesterday for the remaining 13 games, then I think you have a case to say, you know what? Maybe we can.
Not gonna do it.
Well,
You're
look,
not gonna do it, Mikey.
Hold on, look. This question I got for all three of y'all. I'll cut you off, Mike, because I feel like you bringing it to something I wanted to bring to. That's the thing I was talking about. Shout out my nigga Lotto. We had we was going back and forth like me and Lotto always do. We yell like Larry David and Richard Lewis all the time over Chicago sports. But what he was saying was he wants Justin to go another team so he saves his career. I'm like, right now he can't save nothing unless he gets together. Like no team is going to want him right now if he plays. So my question is, not mid-season is what I'm saying.
Not mid-season. Hell no. We're talking about next season.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Not mid-season. I know in NFL you get 9 lives, but so what the question I want to ask is this though, is Mikey brought up a great point. Let's just say he plays 75 to 80% like this for the next 13 games. I personally, after what I saw yesterday, I don't think it matters. And that's why I said it don't matter. I feel like no matter how unless he's just like Mahomes it for the rest of the year, I think this front office has made the decision. I think Ryan Poles knows that whether it happens next Friday or that little mini bye that's coming up, the Eberflus and them are gone, whether he does it or Kevin Warren does it. And for him to save his behind, he wants to have his own quarterback. So I feel like that's what he's going to do to try to save his job. So my question to y'all is, do you think it matters? Or do you think that can Justin change with this play to make him stay in Chicago?
No. If Caleb Williams was not the number 1 pick, the consensus number 1 pick, and the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning and all of that, then we could have a conversation. But that nigga is cold, fam. Did y'all watch the Colorado game?
Oh, I watched it.
And when I tell you, and when I talk about a quarterback with moxie, that the aggressive quarterback with moxie, fam. If USC had a defense, we would not be talking about Deion Sanders or anything. That game would be his Heisman game, and he already got one. Caleb Williams is going to be a star, and half of the league will trade up to get that man right now, no matter who their quarterback is. That's who Justin Fields is going up against. He's not going up against Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and in hindsight, hey, man, C.J. Stroud looked like the real deal. Like, he's not going up against this draft class. He's not going up against that. He's going up against C.J. He's going up against Williams and May, who's not looking bad himself, fam. So if that's why this is it. This is
he's not going against Shadur. He ain't going.
He's not going. Look, as I told y'all, and that's before. This is before I thought the Bears was gonna shit the bed and be on 4. I told y'all the Bears ain't gonna do shit if they gotta go draft Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix or all of them niggas. We're not tanking for them niggas. Yeah. We officially tanking for Caleb Williams, Jack. And I'm sorry. Yeah. Caleb Williams would have been the number 1 pick right now if he was drafted. That means the Bears wouldn't have traded that pick. Caleb Williams would be the quarterback of the Bears right now if he was able to be drafted. He wasn't, but he will be right now. So, Justin, right now, hey, man, Atlanta's looking hot for you, Jack.
Yeah, like to your point, like unless we get the running Justin on top of the throwing that we got last Sunday. Every game the rest of this season, like he literally has to play out of his mind for this front office to stick with Justin Fields. And it's unfortunate because we've talked about the coaching issues, we've talked about the changes in offensive coordinators and everything. But at the same time, it gets to a point where you can't keep having these caveats. It can't just be, well, you got this potential, but this happened, but that happened. So it's about, production, about what he's done. And so we're at a point now. I was joking when I tweeted it, but I was dead serious. I was like, that Kyle Pitts for Justin Fields trade is going to be crazy. Because now, if you're Ryan, you talk about Ryan.
I actually thought about that for like 2 seconds after you sent that.
Because think about it, you talk about getting your guy. If you have the 1 and the 3, you trade Justin for Kyle Pitts. You bring Caleb into a system that now has DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts. You draft Marvin Harrison Jr. You still got Cole Kmet. You got other weapons you're going to be able to get. You still got $70+ million in cap space to fix the line.
Got DJ Moore, who balled out yesterday.
So that makes sense. Like, as much as people want to shit on it actually makes sense for both sides. But it's to a point now where, I think unless Justin legit plays out of his mind for the rest of this season, we talk about it. We look at the schedule. We got the potential to where when the Bears face Carolina, both teams are 0-9
versus 0-8.
Yeah, 0-8 versus 0-8. So it's like the 0-9 bowl, bro. So it's going to be a situation where you could potentially have 2 of the top 3 picks, and it's no way you're going to pass up on Caleb, unless Justin, like I said, just plays out of his fucking mind. It's unfortunate, but it's the facts.
I got something after Mikey.
No, I'm a disagree with y'all just off of the strength that they got those 2 first-round picks, right? If Justin, it's a big if, because like Dante said, we can't keep having the caveats of, he had a great 3 quarters and a terrible 4th quarter. But if Justin, if something gets unlocked and he keeps stacking games like this, and you can build around him with say, I think we all agree the coaching staff is going to be gone, right? The coaching staff is going to be gone, whether it's this week or at the end of the season. More than likely, I was telling Scott, I thought, it would probably happen after the bye. I'm more convinced now it's going to happen after the season for other reasons. But if Justin can play like this and you see the productivity where he's at 70% passing, or, you know what I'm saying, 70 to 75% passing, and he can fucking cut down them turnovers, well, then with those 2 number 1 picks, you can literally build up the rest of the holes that you have, and you can win with that because you have those 2 picks. You don't have to blow it on a QB. Like I said, you can still, in the NFL, win with guys that you don't win because of. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins has won a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? But he hasn't got you there. You can get to a certain point. And with Justin's skill set, I think he can take, he can take us around that Jalen Hurts standpoint if he can make it, right? But say you got those 2 first-round picks and Justin balls out like this and you keep them. All right, cool. Fuck it. With the number 1 pick, we're going to trade back. And we'll trade back to 3 or 4. And we're going to rack up we're going to take somebody's 2nd round pick in this year's draft, right? And we're going to take some more mid-round picks. Then you know what we're going to do? We can probably still get Marvin Harrison Jr., or you go and get the motherfuckers that you are not going to pay for. You go and get those blue chip people. You need a 3-tech. You need a 3-tech. You need a defensive end. And you need a starting fucking left tackle because I'm tired of seeing Braxton Jones out there. So you can get all of that in those 5 spots. You can go and get you the guy that I cannot pronounce his name out of Penn State, the left tackle. He's plug and play starting left tackle. Now you got an all-pro left tackle and an all-pro right tackle in Darnell Wright. Now you fucking cooking. Now whoever your quarterback is protected. Justin is protected. Then you can say Marvin Harrison Jr., or if not, you go get Jared Verse out of Florida State and you got you a fucking 11, 12 sack, you know what I'm saying, defensive end, because you got to plug up these lines. So as Bears fans, Caleb Williams is going to be a star. I'm fucking agreeing with you, G. But if Justin can play like this, then you know what? Don't create you know what I'm saying? Don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If we can get Justin to continue to progress like this, then there's other holes we can fix, because as we all have been saying for weeks, Justin is not the only problem.
So I agree with you, but I'm gonna use your argument to the argument of money. Justin is at the time when we need to decide if I'm the Bears, should I exercise this 5th-year option? I could do that and pay Buddy Ass $25 million, or I can go trade him, get assets. I could trade that number 2 or number 3, depending on where it goes, get more assets, and still go get Caleb Williams. And I reset the money because he's the number 1 pick in the draft. I ain't got to pay him $25 million. So that's where the Bears is at, and that's why I think it's over. No matter what, if you draft, if you have the number 1 pick, which the Bears are in line to get, and I know things could change in an instant, but if the Bears end up with the number 1 pick and Justin still has a decent ass year, they're going to trade that man to a team like Atlanta who you can fleece and get a whole bunch of draft picks with, because now Justin has improved. Therefore, he's improved his stock. And that means I could go get more picks with him. If I'm the number 3 pick, I could go trade that pick and get some more picks. And if I still got the number 1 pick, I got Caleb Williams, I reset my whole thing. And the head coach, when they fire Eberflus, they're going to come in and they're going to say, yo, I want to start this thing over. And I'm sorry. We could say all this shit about, I don't think they're going to fire a GM. But I'm sorry. The way this season is going, I don't see no reason why Poles is back. Because as we said last week, he did shit with the draft picks that he got. So if he did shit with the draft picks that he got, you think, I ain't going to say you think, because I don't know if this nigga smart or not, because I ain't heard this nigga talk, but only in the press conference in the preseason game. I'm pretty sure Bunk Warren is a very smart black guy. And Scott, because of you and your brother, I'm calling him Bunk Warren for the rest of the year.
Bunk Suit walked past me twice.
Yeah, I know. So I'm calling him Bunk Warren from now on. But to Bunk Warren, am I going to really trust Ryan Poles because I have a can't-miss prospect who's going to lead me to prosperity anyway? That's a gimme-ass pick. Me, you, Mikey, Dante, we could be a GM for 1 pick and 1 pick only. If you got the number 1 pick in the draft, who you selecting? Caleb motherfucking Williams. But after that, what can you do with these picks? Ryan Poles has showed us in 2 years that he can't do shit with what he got. So there's going to be a new GM, there's going to be a new coach, and there's going to be a new quarterback by the name of Caleb Williams, and we're going to be able to fleece whatever team we want to get Justin off of our hands and exercise that 5th-year option for $25 million while we go pay Caleb a little bit less than that, and we reset everything, which means the money we got for the salary cap is now even more with a better QB prospect.
But I don't want to hear about that shit. I don't want to hear about that shit because they don't know how to spend the fucking money. They don't know how to spend the money. What's the point of having bread if you don't know how to spend it?
No, and that's the great dilemma, and that's what me and Scott essentially got into it about, because it's like, even when you have these flashes, it's like, what's the point when we know the outcome? We know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen next. Like, even with Justin throwing 4 touchdowns on Sunday, he threw it against a team that gave up 70 fucking points last week. He should have done that. Like, so, like, as much as I want to get excited about, we saw some progression. No, we still saw, I almost called him Matt Nagy. We still saw Getsy calling shitty ass plays. The reason that he got sacked on the bootleg is because that was the exact same formation they ran a screen out of, and they knew what the fuck was coming. So once again, even when you have success, you see the same issues. And so when you know that that's not going to change, it's like, well, they're probably going to just reset it. Because no matter what Justin does, like I said, next week he's going to play against Washington, who just went toe-to-toe with the Eagles, who, although they've been underperforming this year.
With a way better defense.
With a way better defense. With a way better defense.
A way better front line.
And an actual pass rush.
So it's going to be – so, like, even if you get 2 touchdowns in one pick, it's the same shit.
So,
bro, it's the same
Dante,
shit.
to your point, here's the only reason why this is my mustard seed of faith, all right? The main reason why we've seen that, because we was dealing with people in the company who's been there for years, all right? Of course, the McCaskies own the joint. They made Ted Phillips the team president. That motherfucker basically started off as a lawyer, and he was That was the whole thing. It was an accountant. So he's not there no more. Kevin Warren, Bunk Warren, is who I have faith in to say, look, this not gonna happen on my watch. He's an outsider. He's not an insider. And this is the first time in all of our lifetimes, that there's an outsider as the president and CEO of the team. So I have no choice but to have some type of faith because Bunk is the one who's going to change it. Will it happen? I don't know. But there's an outsider making the decision instead of somebody who's been with the Bears organization since they was like 16 years old. Like, I was an intern with the Bears, and now I'm the president and CEO. Kevin is an outsider.
Right.
And that's why I think Bears, and I truly believe that Bears fans would have more faith in his plan if two things happen. One, when we get our ass kicked in Washington on Thursday, Eberflus must go because the season is a wash, period. I don't give a fuck if Luke Getsy is the interim head coach and they move up, however you pronounce the dude's name as the quarterback's coach. Yeah, Janico to be the offensive coordinator. You move the linebackers coach and make him the defensive coordinator. I don't give a fuck if that's what you got to do. Bunk got to fire Eberflus when we lose 38-14 to the Washington Commanders. And the second thing, he got to speak.
Yeah.
Because he's the outsider. Nobody.
He got to actually do something.
Because you know what the funny thing about this is? The main reason why we're having this they're never going to do shit conversation is because of the McCaskies.
Yeah.
Because of white people, fam. The McCaskies. Fam, Bunk has to speak and have to act and let the fans know, hey, I got this. Got to do it.
You want a nigga? Nigga here now. That's what we need from him. This is what I'm gonna say before we move on to the Claypool thing. Is I agree with everything all three of y'all are saying. To me, I look at it as like this. I think that's a very optimistic take from you, Bang. And this is
you know I'm not an optimist.
And that's my point. This comes from King optimism over here. All right, and that's how I get through life with glass half full. But I'm gonna take the Dante and my man Herb Howard, their opinion. Until I actually see it, I'm not gonna believe it. I believe Eberflus is gonna get fired. I think he knows he's gonna get fired. And I want to give a big shout out to not just all of this, my fellow Chicago media for staying on Eberflus, not only yesterday but today. Big shout out my man Jason Leisure. He was not letting that nigga live like at all. Like, Jason Leisure was on. My brother got on Flus. Flus got mad at my brother last week. Flus and Justin got tight at my brother last week. And so shout out to all of them for staying on him. It's like Flus just like he's dead man walking. Just yesterday when with the whole Claypool thing, he told us when Jason asked him was this a team decision that you're sending Chase Claypool home? He was looking like, well, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get in that. We just felt like it'd be better. And then he ended up, he didn't tell us anything. And Justin low-key dry snitched, or as Cam said, I saw a nigga throw that diamond up when the shots got fired. Like, basically, when Justin went up there, and I think it was Dan Weeder or Chris Emma, somebody asked him, like, so when did you guys know that Chase Claypool wasn't going to be the team? Just like, oh, that nigga told us on Saturday. And so, and everybody in the media looked like, oh, so this nigga's lying. So you have all of that, and he's not even good at lying. Like, I always say this about a lie. If you're going to lie to me, make it creative. Make it good. Like, even though if I find out you lying, I'll be upset. But at least I'm like, you know what? That nigga thought he was slick. I give him a couple points for that. He don't even be creative with his lies. So I feel like, yes, he knows he's a dead man walking, and he knows he's going to get fired. But I just don't, until, like, in any smart organization, this goes back to what you're saying about Bunk Warren, or Bunk Suits, like I'm going to call the nigga. This goes back to him, with him being an outsider. You got to break that McCaskey tradition of not firing people mid-season. You got to start with that. So when they get washed on Thursday, because it's not an if, when they get washed, when I'm on my flight back to Los Angeles on Friday afternoon, I better land to a notification or email that Kevin Warren will be speaking to the media on Monday or something like that. He's got to address it so the fans see his face. We ain't seen his face like talking since he got hired. I'm not talking about pictures with Lil Durk. I'm not talking about giving people who are in rough situations tickets to see the sorry team. I'm talking about actually talking about football issues. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much where I'm at with it. He's to show himself. And actually, man, if he fires Eberflus midseason, that gives the fan base confidence that, okay, he's going to do something different. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much where I got with it, man. So let's get to Claypool so we're not, running too much on this. What do y'all think about the situation? Because I will officially announce that I was wrong. I was wrong about the Claypool situation. I caped for it. I should have known when my favorite coach, Mike Tomlin, got rid of this nigga that there was something smelly. It should be like when the Tampa Bay Rays try to trade you niggas. You know something's wrong. So I should have took that, but I didn't. This is a massive failure. Just the fact the team played better without him, even though they lost, they played better. EQ was blocking and stuff like that. To me, that just means that's another failure to Ryan Poles, and he has to go. What do you guys think about the trade and how everything ended up?
I think it's another example of why Ryan Poles probably won't be here. If we secure those 2 picks, why do you give him anything? Like outside of the draft picks, which we've discussed, damn, I don't want to say every move, but damn near every move he's made has been a failure. Like they all kind of like, it reminds me of I forgot dude's name, the buddy who drafted Shea McClellan, but
Phil Emery.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
In the beginning, those moves they look real shiny, and then you play a season, it's like, okay, wait a minute, these niggas is trash. And so like it's coming to that type of situation where Poles, every move he's made, trying to draft guys based on athletic profiles and things like that, it's failed. As much as we talk about Borum and everybody like that, they can't stay healthy, they can't stay on the field. Tevin Jenkins, same way. It's more so just failure. And with the Claypool deal, we tried to say, oh, okay, I get it. You get Justin a big target in here, but he's been terrible. And then you had the caveat of, well, okay, we're going to go into the offseason, let him learn the playbook more. He's going to come back ready to go. And in 4 games, he's been terrible. You had to deactivate the guy. So it's one of those things where it's like, this is another negative mark on Poles where it's like, why do I bring you back? Like, why do I give you the keys to this kingdom if I have this treasure chest of picks and money, when this year I gave you a treasure chest of picks and money and you fucked it off? So Claypool is just like, that's the biggest, that's one of the biggest indictments, if not the biggest indictment. But I'm like you, Scott. I did when it first came out. I saw it. I saw the reason, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense, but it's just a failure. You got just one of them L's you got to take when you try one of those low risk, high reward. It wasn't even low risk because Joey Porter Jr. has been hooping as the 32nd pick coming out the second round. So you gave up a lot of value for a guy who essentially won't be on your team. Now you're trying to get a 5th or a 6th round pick. So you're trying to get back something 3 or 4 rounds lower, and you probably won't get that because the rest of the league is looking around like, well, no, you don't like this nigga. You're probably gonna cut him anyway. You fumbled this to now where he's at home. You told him stay away from the team. So you're losing leverage by the day. So it's just another day as a Chicago Bear fan. That's what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Mikey got kicked out again, which is I don't know.
This is part of the reason why I think Ryan Poles is not going to be back either. I see the talent in Claypool and where Claypool comes from. So it's like, yo, you might have some type of familiarity with Justin and everything, you know what I'm saying? And none of that worked out. Buddy ass is fucking up during the contract year. Like, this is the year you don't fuck up at. This is the year you about to get your money, now you tweaking. This is crackhead move at its finest. Chase Claypool is pulled a quintessential cluck move by tweaking off millions of dollars this season because he on bullshit. With that being said, that's partly why Ryan Poles is not going to be back. Because not only can your ass not draft, but you traded a first rounder for this nigga. And when we all found out that nobody was offering nowhere near, you panicked And that's the thing. If you go back, if you look back at the long-term storytelling, nobody offered what the Bears offered to get Chase Claypool. Remember when we thought they was giving up the Ravens second-round pick? And we was like, oh, no, that's good. And then they was like, oh, no, ours. What the fuck? So that's why he's not going to be here. Because you can't draft. And not only can you not draft, you made piss-poor free agent decisions and trades. That's all you do, fam. That's all you do. So we might as well start looking at head coaching candidates, mock drafts, and GMs. Does Ian Cunningham get promoted?
No.
There you go.
No, all them niggas gotta go. All them niggas gotta go.
There you go.
Him and his wearing hoodies in 95-degree weather. He gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like he gotta go. He be doing like not. Let me not say that. I'm gonna get my credentials taken. Anyway, Mikey, what you gotta say? I'll tell you off there. I'll tell you off there what I was gonna say. Yeah.
No, it's like Bang said, it's just a complete miscalculation on Ryan Poles. I understood it at the time why he did it. He was trying to jump the market on what was a weak wide receiver free agent class. You know what I'm saying? So he was trying to bring somebody in. And, ever since he came in, Chase Claypool did not buy into the playbook, did not buy into being a Chicago Bear. He didn't put the work in. And then, it's shown. And if anything, this is more of an indictment on Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, everybody that's up in that office, because this is exactly why they didn't take Jalen Carter. They are showing us that they do not have the capability or the balls to go ahead and handle somebody that's a little wild in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? They can't control that. And that's why they didn't take Jalen Carter, and that's why they missed out on what's looking like, one of them generational plug and play three techs that people get paid $105 million to play, So that's what this is looking like. It's all just a bad miscalculation by Ryan Poles. It's bad coaching on Lugetzi, on the wide receivers coach, on Matt Eberflus to be able to control him and to get Chase Claypool to buy in. It's a failure on Lugetzi to get Chase Claypool involved into the passing games. When he was in there, it didn't even look like they were trying to use him until the last 2 weeks. And you can tell that they probably have been sitting on this decision for the last couple of weeks, because I text in the group chat. I said, they're trying to force him into the offense. There's no reason Darnell Mooney up until yesterday should only have 2 targets. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to make it work because they realized they fucked up. So at the end of the day, good riddance, peace. You can't miss what you never had. Tell me your favorite Chase Claypool moment in a Chicago Bear uniform.
My favorite Chase Claypool moment in the Chicago uniform is going to be when he boards O'Hare Airport, go back that shitty country called Canada. That's going to be my favorite Chase Claypool moment. I was deceived. I want my money back, and I ain't even spend any money. And you're right about that, Mikey. He has been forced. He's been forced. Yesterday, I was like, oh, Darnell Mooney's on the roster. Oh, it's almost like what DJ Moore did to Patrick Surtain is a felony in 49 states. And then the fourth quarter comes you know what? We're not going to give this nigga the ball anymore. So it was just so many things yesterday. It was simple stuff that the Bears should have been doing. And Chase Claypool, you can say what you want to say about the wrong St. Brown, as Bang likes to call him. He's not his brother, but the nigga at least tries. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what I want. Mikey, I know you got to get up out of here, man. Is there anything you want to tell the people before we get about it? Because there's no show on Friday.
Seattle Seahawks money line tonight. We on that, and we are on. If you can bet it, you can find it. It's at plus 105 or plus 100. Throw 100, you win $100. The Toronto Blue Jays to win the series against the Minnesota Twins, and that's it.
Sir. Mikey holding y'all down each and every week on the bets, even though Patrick Mahomes did not hold him down last night.
No, in the Steelers, man. In the Steelers. No, man, listen. I'm pretty sure the shit that I was yelling in my apartment when he slid at the one, I'm pretty sure when I get back to the crib, I probably got a letter from the condo association saying I got to pack my shit up.
I audibly yelled when that happened. I was like, I know Mikey's losing this shit, man.
I was sick.
We'll holler at you next week, bro.
I'll holler at y'all.
So we are about to begin the national hour here on I'm not gonna hold you. We're gonna bring in that nice cool graphic we have here on this show. I'm trying to think. We need to get like some Jeopardy music on this
As
motherfucker.
I said, I felt like I want to sing a jingle, like the national hour.
The national hour is provided by Harold's on 103rd. That's exactly what is provided by, man. So you know what I'm saying? We here. Courtney's here. What's going on?
How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you? How are you feeling after that New Orleans Saints massacre?
Listen, I did say, in my defense, I did say Baker Mayfield had heart. Okay, the man's got heart. He played his little heart out. The Saints' offense is absolutely abysmal right now. In a division that is very, very winnable, it's not looking winnable by us. So I'm starting new teams. As I said, I did try out Eagles fandom once again, but they had me stressed out because of Sam Howell, which is crazy.
Yeah, you never want to be stressed out by Sam Howell. Let's see what the rundown is for this national hour, man. We got this queued up. As we gonna do the national hour.
It's the national hour.
Let's see what we got for this rundown today. So yeah, we're gonna start off with a week 4 recap here, man. We're gonna go over. I wrote a couple topics from yesterday's events. We're gonna talk about that. Then we're going to be joined by Jake Mintz of Cespedes Barbecue on Twitter. He also does writing and video content for the MLB on Fox. So that's going to be something to get. We're gonna have to get his opinions on everything going on with MLB. He's gonna be in Philly tomorrow for that Marlins Philly series. So that's gonna be good. So we've got that going on, man. So let's just get right into it with our national hour. I'm gonna start off with my sound off actually, which is something that's actually not football related. We're gonna start with the NBA. We're gonna start with it. Today is National Liar Day, as I like to call it in the NBA, aka Media Day, where everybody goes up there and they say a whole bunch of bullshit about how this season's gonna go, how they were training in the regular season. It's a whole bunch of optimism. I want to start with the trade that happened yesterday, man. Drew Holiday, who was the center of attention a couple days ago, not center of attention, but one of the main pieces to get Dame Lillard to Milwaukee. He went to Portland, but we all knew that wasn't going to stay. Because everybody said, Woj, Shams, a couple Blazers beat writers said that they knew that he was going to be traded off to a contender. And that contender, we found out yesterday, was the Boston Celtics. And he was traded. Full trade is he gets sent. Drew Holiday gets sent to Boston. Boston is sending Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, their 2024 Golden State Warrior first round pick, and an unprotected 2029 pick to the Blazers. So the Blazers are really getting their rebuild on. For everybody who says, why they give up Time Lord? I don't know if you watch Celtics basketball, but very rarely do you see this nigga on the court. So with a team that is trying to win an NBA championship, who is about 2 years removed from in the finals, you need to go out here. You need to get a guy who's going to help you, somebody who can defend at the end of games, and honestly, a guy who can defend Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard, as great as he is, I ain't forgot about that series when he played New Orleans Pelicans with Drew was over there. I think Dame's car is still under Drew Holiday's name. So I think that is a great addition for the Celtics. Now, I will say it doesn't really matter if Jason Tatum doesn't stop acting like cosplay Kobe and actually stops turning the ball over in the postseason, actually starts taking easier shots, stop trying to be the light-skinned nigga with the cool moves, and if Jaylen Brown don't stop acting like actual Daniel off Insecure, then this trade ain't gonna matter. So I'm gonna need that to get better. If not, they're gonna get ran off the court by Milwaukee. So I think it's a good addition, but it still all relies on their two stars, which is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now, I will say they're taking a massive risk with their front court, relying so much on an older Al Horford and also on a guy like Kristaps Porzingis who just can't stay healthy. So it's a big risk. But when you're a team that has been in the NBA Finals championship hunt for probably about 6 years now, 6-7 years at this point. They've been in the Eastern Conference Finals or in the finals. They've been in the picture. I like this addition. And for Drew Holiday, who just the day before he was traded said he wanted to be in Milwaukee, you know, he's got to score to settle. I know he's going to be excited to be going up against his former team as many times as they will. In their first matchup, I think, is the day before Thanksgiving, and that will be in Boston Gardens. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a good move for the Celtics, man, as we get ready to start this NBA season in a couple weeks, man. So that is my sound off, and the only thing we have on the NBA today. I wanted to ask Bangs, since we didn't get Bangs' opinion on this because he wasn't here. What do you think about the Dame Lillard trade?
Man, this is the pettiest trade in NBA history, Jack.
It's a spite trade.
This was the petty spite, all of that trade. This is the NBA that I love. This reminds me of some shit in the 80s and early 90s when we was like, nah, we're not sending you over there. We're going to send you over here. So shouts out to the Portland Trail Blazers for bringing back the feeling, of restoring the feeling. Now, as far as the trade go, man, oh man. You put two people together the caliber of Giannis and Lillard and don't lose Middleton. And honestly, when you look at the trade, this was basically just Drew Holiday for Dame Lillard. When you really look at it, especially with some of the additions that they made already, it's definitely a change of it. I won't say a change because I think that Milwaukee, to me, at least to me, was top 2 in the East. But it did, or at least did at the time, solidify that they were still top 2. With the Drew Holiday trade happening, going to Boston, that was also petty. And I think that Boston is slated to be the number 1 seed. So I really want to see this pick and roll between him and Giannis, though. Because this looks like to be an unstoppable pick and roll. A pick and roll that we haven't seen this unstoppable since the Utah Jazz, Karl Malone, Freak Nasty, and John Stockton, Craze Maniac. So it's going to be interesting to see how the league stops that. But it does make the Eastern Conference interesting.
Yeah, it makes. I agree. It's a lot of stories in the NBA this year. I feel like Anthony Davis was talking a little spicy in his media day, talking about, yeah, we get the Nuggets won, but they were talking a lot. I'm like, I like that. I like that type of stuff. But nigga, just make sure you healthy enough for that to matter. Come May, like, cause you look at that nigga, he out 6 weeks, so that don't really matter.
He's the Chase Claypool of the situation. You right, but that shouldn't be coming from you.
Yeah, I want to hear that from LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear that from LeBron or Darvin Ham. I don't want to hear that from Anthony Davis. But that concludes. I'm gonna keep saying this to the NBA season actually starts. That concludes our NBA coverage for this episode. We're gonna get into the NFL. Week 4 ends tonight in MetLife Stadium as the New York Giants will be hosting Geno and the Seattle Seahawks. So we're gonna preview that later on in the show. But let's just talk about the Week 4, man. I got about 5 topics I want to go over. One, I want to start with a game that kind of felt like a shootout at the beginning, which ended up being a blowout. The Bills. This is a game we talked about on Friday. I think a lot of us had circled. Bills just mollywopped the Dolphins. Josh Allen had a great game, 21-25, threw 320 yards, had 4 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, man, shows you why he is the playmaker that he is. 6 receptions, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. On the Miami end of things, Tua struggled. Like I said, he was going to 26-35, 282 yards, only 1 touchdown. They held Tyreek Hill and also Jalen Waddle out of the end zones. That's a big thing for that. And it just, I feel like when Josh Allen and when Stephon Diggs get into their little 2-man game thing, it's some of the most exciting things to watch in football, man. I even love the Stone Cold Steve Austin celebration he did with, Bills Mafia. And I kind of feel like after that rough first game they had against the Jets, which I feel like once Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they kind of put dropped their guard and, ended up losing that game. They're back out here looking like the Bills that we know them to be. So my question for my esteemed panel, is this something that the Dolphins should worry about, that they finally faced in an elite, team like this, and they got mollywopped the way they did?
No, I don't think they should worry about it. I think, it's still early. It's still, if anything, like Tua said, it's something that they can, you should be happy this happened in Week 4 and not week 16. You feel me? So I think it's one of those things where, like you said, Buffalo has definitely got back on the right track after a scared week 1, and you just ran into a really good team, and that's a team that you're gonna have to beat if you want to get, not only to the playoffs but eventually to the Super Bowl. So I think you don't have to be worried about it, but just take notes. Like you see how they came, they executed at home. The tackling was piss poor. Obviously, I don't think when Jalen Ramsey gets out there, he'll do a lot of shadowing to Stephen Diggs. So that's a matchup I'm interested in seeing going forward. But being scared or worried about it, no. It's week 4. It's just something, take it in stride and see where you go from here. Because although the Broncos are ass, you scored 70 points last week, so it's not the end of the world. Like, you still have a very talented football team.
I think they definitely needed that to bring them back down to earth, though, because as soon as they put up 70 on Denver last week, the media immediately propped them up in a very competitive division and kind of just started, everyone started drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh, is Miami the team to beat? Is Miami the favorites? So I think they definitely needed to run into a team like Buffalo to kind of bring them back down to earth.
Yeah, go ahead, man. My bad.
Just real quick. No, I don't think they need to worry. It's a division game, and these things happen. I think that, you just make adjustments for when y'all next play and then go from there. I think they just happen to be in the division where you have them two being the two strongest. You had the Jets, who look strong in defeat, Can't shit on Zach Wilson this week. And then you got the New England Patriots, and who would have thought we'd be like New England Patriots. So I think you worry if you get your ass beat twice, but this is the first game they play, so we good.
Yeah, I think what I want to say about that, and I've been saying on this show for a couple weeks now, Bill Belichick needs to go home and be a family man. He can't do it without Tom Brady. Like I think Tom Brady is enjoying this. This nigga Tom Brady in Miami living. He allegedly is dating Kim Kardashian. Now, of course, this is in the shade room. I'm just telling you right here. He's out here in Miami going to Drake concerts. You know what I'm saying? He doing his real thing right now. And I know that even though he went back home a couple weeks ago in Foxborough, they gave him an amazing ceremony the way he deserves. He deserves even more because he's the greatest player of all time. Some part in his petty mind, he's like, yeah, nigga, I told you couldn't do this without me. When I left, I still made a couple. I made a couple playoffs. I won the Super Bowl the year after. Like, if everybody won it for all those years. Is it Belichick? Is it Brady? Now, I'm gonna shoot Belichick a little bit of Bill. Mac Jones, I don't even think Bill Walsh can get that nigga to play well. So I'm gonna shoot him some Bill. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the defense they used to have. Ezekiel Elliott is not the Ezekiel Elliott of old. So yes, it's not a perfect situation. And considering they actually made the playoffs the year after Brady left, you got to shoot him a little bit. But I think once he actually passes, I think Lombardi or whoever has the the most wins in NFL history,
Bill Walsh.
No,
Shula 326.
Shula, that's who it is.
Yeah, my bad. Shula, Don Shula, Big Don.
Once he passes Big Don, he need to accept the fact that you got 6 rings, 8 if you include his time with the Giants. You're one of the greatest coaches of all time, arguably the greatest coach of all time. You need to go ahead and sit down, big dog, so they can give you Bill Belichick Day at Foxborough and just understand that, what Larry Bird tell Bill Murray in Space Jam, you can't play no more. It's over. Let that go, bro. That's what they need. But as far as the Miami Dolphins, I don't think you need to be concerned because, like what you said, Bang, what you said, Courtney, and even what you said, Dante, like, yes, it's a division game, things like that. But I do feel a lot of people are underrating the Bills just because how, ridiculous Josh Allen can get, and they lost a lot of people on defense. I get that. But these niggas can still hang with the best of them. When you got that chemistry that you got between Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, they just get into a zone. And when you get into a zone like that, it's very hard to stop for a defense. We all know that the issue, I'm not worried about Miami scoring points. Every defense they play isn't going to be as good as Buffalo's. Everybody doesn't run the same scheme that a Sean McDermott runs with the Buffalo Bills, so I'm not worried about that. But defensively, this is not a great defensive team. They never have been. Bradley Chubb looks terrible since they got him from Denver, and we don't know. I don't think Jalen Ramsey is scheduled to come back to December. So by that time, he's been out for a certain amount of time. We don't know what he's going to be when he comes back. So I do think defensively there's a worry, especially if you're in the AFC. Now I'm not worried about them for the regular season. They have a real good shot to win this division. They probably still will win this division, but come playoff time, which is all that matters, these defenses are going to be able to pick up on a lot of Tua's tendencies, because I don't believe he's the greatest thrower of the football. And that's something I feel like if you're watching this, if you're Mike McDaniel or you're that offensive coaching staff, you got to figure that out so you can counter when defenses kind of know how to stop an offense that's as good as Miami. So I wouldn't say that they have to worry, but I would definitely go spend a little more time in the film room this week. So let's move on to the next one. The Philadelphia Eagles, who are the defending NFC champions. They are 4-0. Had a very close win against the Washington Commanders last night, 34-31 in overtime. Jalen Hurts went 25-37, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 9 receptions, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. My question to y'all, because even though they're 4-0, and like Mike Tomlin says, you don't want to apologize for victories, niggas look a little smelly. They look a little smelly. I'm not buying what's going on in Philadelphia. What y'all think about with the Eagles? Am I tweaking, or do you think that there's something more to this?
I think you tweaking. The only reason why I think you tweaking is because now they're gonna play you at your best every week, Jack. And I also think we underrated some of these teams. Like the Commanders, I know I did. To give you the buck, I ain't had no faith for Eric Bieniemy. I didn't have no faith for Eric Bieniemy because he went to the Washington Commanders. Not that he couldn't do it, but he got Sam Howell looking respectable. They got a pretty decent run game. That defensive line, oh my God. I would pay my last dollar in Chicago Bears money to get the front four that they got. They don't have to blitz a damn thing if they don't want to. With shouts out to Alabama and Ohio State for making that front seven possible. So I think now you're just going up against teams who want you. They want that. They want to get you. But the thing is that what we've learned in past, when teams come off of a Super Bowl, that Super Bowl high comes, and they're not 4-0. They're 0-4 or 3-1, 2-2. This team is getting the best every week, and they're 4-0. They're finding a way to win. So I think it helps them in the back half of the year more than anything that the struggle has happened now. They can get the kinks out. You're getting your best from these teams, and you still winning. But I can see why y'all calling them smelly. I just don't think they smelly.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Parcells said it best. You are what your record says you are. So, I mean, the team is 4-0. They're 4-0. I understand, like JR really hit the nail on the head, where it's like, now that you have, you won the NFC last year, so the target is on your back. It's not going to be a Sunday where they can come in there and get a team that's, off guard or like, oh, we playing Philly this week. It's always the attitude, oh, no, we playing Philly this week. We got to do something. So, I don't think they'll go as far this year, obviously, just because, we know the history of teams that made it to the Super Bowl last year, the loser rather, outside of, teams like the Patriots and shit like that. They don't usually bowl that well. So, but for right now, a 4-0 team is a 4-0 team, bro. So I think you got to really just give them credit for that and then see where it goes from here.
Y'all are spot on. And it doesn't help that the Commanders also seem to have the Eagles number too, because I'm pretty sure I definitely remember the Eagles losing to the Commanders last season. It was a little later in the season, but they definitely beat them. So, I mean, listen, it's early, but like y'all said, they're 4-0. A win is a win.
While I agree with everybody in y'all Bill Parcells comments, let me just throw y'all something that I've been paying attention to. One, I think I think it's more of a not really a strategy, but like a scheme thing that I see. Not that I don't think they're not a good team. I still think that's still my pick to win the NFC because I still got to see it from Brock Purdy in a playoff time, and also I'm just not going to be putting money on the Detroit Lions. I don't care. Like them niggas got to baby steps first. We put them in any championship conversation. But I think to me, it's offensively. I think they lost both defensive coordinators, both coordinators, offensively and defensively, lost both of them. And I think that's something that you see some of it right now. Now it's early. The first quarter of the season just ended. They can, get through their lumps and get better. But at the moment, I see a potential flaw. And more offensively, more than defensively, to me, is what's been standing out. I think Jalen Hurts has been good, but he hasn't been great. And I think that they've kind of slowed down on the runs he's been doing. And I don't think that's something you need to be doing with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is much better when he's running as much as he is. And it's kind of like the same Justin Fields thing. Like, even though I do think that, he has arm talent, he's a very accurate passer, but they got to mix it up a little bit, I feel. Run the ball a little bit more and things like that. And once they do that, I feel like they'll be able to get past it. They're in the NFC East. I'm not buying anything that the Dallas Cowboys are selling whatsoever, so they will find a way. But when I look at the Eagles, when I look at teams like the Eagles or teams like the Chiefs and teams like the Niners, Bengals, stuff like that, teams who have won playoff games and been to championship games, it's not about regular season when I'm talking about chinks in the armor. It's stuff that I think that may arise when you face other teams that are cream of the crop as you are come playoff time. And for right now, I feel like there is a way to beat the Eagles with the way they play offensively. Defensively, they'll be fine. I like that secondary. I really like that pass rush. Jalen Carter is making me seem like I felt when I was in Kansas City when the draft happened. I kept saying, Bears, go grab Jalen Carter. I don't care if he stamped the nigga. Like, what they got to do with him rushing the football? Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So him being, that is, I think that'll be fine. Defensively, they'll be fine. But offensively, I'm a little worried. So I'm interested to see what it's going to be like. I think they have a London game against the Chiefs. Is that a Monday Night Football? Well, how they are when they play the Chiefs? The Chiefs have their offensive issues and things like that. But that's just something I'll keep my eye on, man. But speaking of the Chiefs, let's go to my next NFL Week 4 thing I want to talk about. Kansas City Chiefs won a very hilarious game last night, 23-20 at MetLife Stadium. I'm fed up with the Taylor Swift thing, bro. Like, I was fed up last week. I'm really fed up this week. And like the NFL, I feel this is going to marketing. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the banner on the NFL Twitter. It's Taylor Swift in the background. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, I get it. She's Taylor Swift. I think the NFL has like 21 million Instagram followers, and she got like 297 million Instagram followers. I get it. You're trying to bring other demographics to the game, but please get off your knees. Like, that's just really what I want to say here. There's too many shots of her, and now there is a rumor out here. Now, you know me, I get hit y'all with the Marvel rumor. There's a rumor that she was with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman because she's gonna be in Deadpool 3. That's what I heard, and that's why they was in the same press box yesterday, because that was a random pairing. I was like, what's Wolverine and Deadpool? Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see her in that either.
Please don't ruin that movie, because I like that movie.
She's friends with his wife. I do know that, but that is pretty random. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah,
I wonder if Beyonce were dating like Lamar Jackson or someone comparable, would the reaction be the same?
That's a good question. This is why I say that it don't even have to be Lamar Jackson. If Jay-Z and Beyonce actually went to more football games, I mean, look in the Super Bowl. When Jay-Z comes, we got video of him throwing balls to Blue Ivy on the field, like doing pregame. Like, I love Hov. I don't care about that. Like, so I feel like if for massive stars, it does do that. But what I think they're trying to do, which is nasty business, they're trying to do the power couple thing. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't care about.
And not only that, she was dating like a right-wing racist before this, so she's trying to scrub that. She's trying to scrub that from everybody's memory. So no, you're not low, Taylor. I see you.
Okay. Not only is she not low, did you see the perfectly timed Pfizer commercial with Travis Kelce?
Oh,
in the words of shout out my man Cash, shout out to Bang. Everything is a work. Everything is a work. I know it work when I see one. Like, nobody meet your mama that quick. You know what I'm saying? When she up there with Donna Kelce. Honestly, I'm tired of the entire Kelce family. I don't want to see his mama up there with Jake from State Farm. Why I care about that for? Like, it's just this pointless coverage. Like this, I knew when we were losing our way as Americans last night. When in the middle of this highly contested game, I got Chris Collinsworth breaking down relationship dynamics and Chris NBC HD. What are we doing? Like I've had enough. I'm ready for the chapter where the Chiefs lose a couple games and they start blaming Taylor. Because I feel like that needs to happen so we can get rid of this white woman and we can get back to talking football. I'm tired of the random shots of Sansa Stark, Sophie Turner, because her nigga won't let us see her kids, whatever they got going on. Just give me my football. That's all I want. Just give me my football, dog. But
I like Brittany Mahomes right now.
Oh, Brittany Mahomes.
Oh, she looked miserable.
Yeah, she looked miserable. There's only
really not
one annoying
she's
white
the
woman.
most popular.
Right.
She's not the star in the room now, man.
Yeah.
Y'all not gonna focus on me no more. She don't even be screaming. You saw her sitting there looking crazy. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, she was sick. She was sick.
Probably
man.
loving this low key.
But let's move on to the actual football play that happened in this game. Like I said, the Chiefs won 23-20. Their offense looked shaky. And one thing I will take with this, I'm leaving out here with something. That even Matt Nagy will make Patrick Mahomes look shaky. I will take something. I'm writing something when it comes to that criminal who should be in jail, not coaching offense, Matt Nagy. But my question to y'all is: this game looked like it was headed towards blowout boulevard, but Zach Wilson started to show some life. Our man Zach Wilson went 28 of 39. He had 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now he had a very costly fumble at the end. But do you think that Zach Wilson is turning around, or this is just something he's performing because he knew Taylor Swift was up there and he wanted the ball out? What y'all think?
Nigga, no. The end. Hell no. Hell no, fam.
No, this is a good night.
They got it. Hey, Jets got a nice ass defense, man. That to me just showed me that how good the Jets defense is. And what you talked about as far as Philadelphia, that's the conversation we need to start having about the Chiefs. Now, I know Chiefs do this, then they win, and we be like, oh, everything is okay. I don't think this is that year, fam. I think something off. And the fact that they are so star crazed with this Taylor Swift shit, that's even a bit confusing to me. First of all, this ain't even a city where we should be having a Taylor Swift.
It's Kansas City.
Here, Kansas City? No. And keep it a buck, Travis Kelce ain't that person to be like, oh, these two together? Like, no.
Ain't like she dating Rump.
No. Look, Taylor Swift. Look, is Taylor Swift attractive to me? No. But she also ain't my demographic. That being said, when I look at Taylor Swift, she should be dating like a quarterback, not a tight end. All right?
What quarterback would she be dating?
Hey, man.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Got the flowing locks.
Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert.
Not. Absolutely not.
Like, not
Joe too
Travis
cool for
Kelce.
For that girl.
Nah, man.
Joe
Joe
way
way
too
pull up
cool
with a
for
black
shorty.
woman, man. Don't do Joey B, dog.
Joe gonna go get Kayla. Fuck you,
Isn't
mean?
he
Right,
engaged to a
exactly.
white woman, y'all?
Just girlfriend white.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's fiance
White
is
as
a white woman.
fuck.
Oh, no disrespect. No disrespect, Miss White Woman. My bad.
Look,
I don't want no smoke.
Hey, this Travis Kelce thing is proving what I've always said about interracial relationships anyway. When people say that they don't like interracial relationships, I say, no, that's bullshit. You hate the interracial relationship. You don't hate interracial relationships. Goddamn, Travis Kelce got all black women mad as hell because it's like, yo, why are you over there with Taylor Swift? Because it's Taylor Swift, man. She's popular. She gets some money and all
I would
that shit.
like to respectfully speak on behalf of black women to say that I'm out on that one.
Well, I'm not saying you.
How you got a buzz cut but don't have weight?
I'm not saying you, but it was an abundance of black women. It was an abundance of black women that when they saw them two, they was like, oh no, that's the white person you gonna take from
Why
us?
are you so mad at the colonizer?
Like, why y'all mad at that
JR
one?
Bang on Twitter.
Oh, hey, you can at me at JR Bang. I'll say it all day long. If Brad Pitt and Halle Berry was dating, nobody would have an issue with that interracial relationship. But if Brad Pitt was dating Precious, you'd be like, oh no, white people like, oh no, get the fuck up out of here. What's going on with this? Like, what's going on with this? If Halle Berry was dating, Jonah Hill, black folks. Oh, see, this bullshit I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a white person we like, oh no, we don't give a fuck about that relationship.
So it has to be a white person we like for it to be.
Man, ain't nobody give a fuck. Ain't nobody give a fuck that Robin Thicke and Paula Patton was in a relationship. Y'all just was like, oh man, he's singing that way because shit, he got a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers thought Robin Thicke was light skinned, fam.
And then what did he do?
He fucked it up, and we don't like him no more. Exactly my point.
So do black people as a whole like Tom Brady? What Tom Brady started getting with like Megan Thee Stallion?
Yes,
like
black.
Yeah,
I know black
Tom.
people. I know black people. Shouts out to my man Bula, who will say that Tom Brady is the greatest white man on planet Earth. Let Tom Brady pop out with. How old is Tom Brady? Like 40. I'll just name one.
43?
Let Tom Brady pop out with Regina Hall. Oh my God. Yes, Tom. You're solidifying that you're the greatest white man ever.
Tom Brady, Regina Hall is hilarious.
Right, and they're hilarious as shit too.
No,
Tom Brady
with Megan Thee Stallion. Because then look, it's like Meg, she ain't messing with Tori no more. She had that situation. Beyonce the night of her. Now you with the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? The streets gonna love that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
imagine Brady pulling up to Houston.
Scott, remember the conversation on Summer Sessions? Who is that person that will raise your profile?
Coco Jones.
If Tom Brady pull up with Megan Thee Stallion, my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's going to be at front row at the BET Hip Hop Awards, which is next week. Imagine Tom Brady front row. All of the monologues and the jokes be like, oh, hey y'all, guess who's here with us tonight?
Tom Brady.
And motherfucker be a standing ovation.
Every rip. It would be a very long show.
Very long show.
You go see Tom
I like
Brady
to thank God.
Is Jay Prince with the
hey,
out.
Man, I would like to thank God for allowing me to win this award. I'd like to thank my team. Oh shit, I just won an award in front of Tom Brady. Man, Megan. Hey. Damn right, that's what happened.
You gonna see Megan in the boxing and Raiders games.
Man.
That would be hilarious, man.
Twerking. She gonna light the fire. She gonna light the fire at the stadium and twerk at the same time and shit. Motherfucker, goddamn Joe Buck be like, oh well,
And we have rapper Megan Thee Stallion here. And Troy Aikman gonna say something. Well, Joe, I think it's the Stallion. We have to make that correction here. You got Joe Buck doing
bongos will be playing after every touchdown before it go to commercial break and shit. You know, start
Courtney,
playing Megan B-sides.
Are we off base here?
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah.
As far as with Tom Brady and Megan Thee Stallion?
Do you agree is that a white person that the black woman delegation would approve of if she got with Meg?
I mean, that's mad random. I don't know.
Random.
I feel like maybe the respectability politics conservative black folk may not approve of him dating such a sultry black woman. I feel like
sultry. I like that word.
Sultry is a nice word.
It is a nice word.
That's a very VH1 soul word. I like sultry.
I feel like it would have to be somebody maybe a little bit more buttoned up, for people to get behind. Like when George Clooney got with that lawyer chick, everybody was like, "Oh, yeah, we could all get behind that," because it's like, oh, she's accomplished in her own right, she's got her own thing. So I feel like if Tom Brady in a hypothetical world got with Beyonce,
oh my God,
Tom Brady and Beyonce,
the world would end.
Yeah,
the world would end because that's when black folks would be mad. Now, black folks would be mad that black men would be angry. Oh, you left Jay-Z to go fuck with Tom Brady? Oh man, they be burning all types of Beyonce records. Yes. Look, white people will be like, damn, how Tom Brady get Beyonce? Niggas will be like, The fuck up out of him, man. Shit, you gonna leave Jay-Z for this nigga?
Yeah,
For this
and
nigga?
then
Yeah,
then
oh
you
my god.
start
Black dog.
Civil War Part 3.
Courtney, all of the podcast episodes that would be created and take
Yeah.
place.
We'd have to
Oh
cut
my
some
god.
words, man.
Every black relationship podcast is going to start off with this conversation.
It's easily a 50-minute conversation on Joe Budden.
Man,
Easily.
Derek Jackson to be back with a whole new podcast off of this episode. If Beyonce and Tom Brady somehow end up dating. Oh, see the pictures at the Met Gala.
That would be my Roman Empire.
To Tom Brady, no, or I got another one. We're gonna wrap this up when we go to baseball coverage. Or what if you got like you Kerry Washington left homeboy? You get your Kerry Washington type. You know what I'm saying? You say you need somebody more, you know, I don't want to say presentable. That sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. Like more suit and tie. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be something that we could see. But that would be
Kerry Washington.
Yeah, Kerry Washington.
Kerry Washington and Tom Brady. That's manageable.
Yeah, exactly.
It won't be nobody shaking the table. She's liked by all.
Yeah, but I mean, you brought up Jay-Z and Beyonce. You might as well break up two.
I did not do that. Y'all did that. I did not do that. I was trying to talk about Zach Wilson. Y'all did
Kerry
that.
Washington was out here.
This did make
Dante, like, can we get back to football?
But Kerry Washington was dating the white
Wilson
dude. But Kerry Washington was dating the white dude that was the president on that show she was on. He kind of looked like Tom Brady too. So yeah, that would work.
This is our reel for the week, 100%. I'm definitely getting this conversation chopped up for the reel. Let's move on to I got like two more. We gonna just quickly go before we get to our MLB coverage, man. CJ Stroud, who my brother, even though I know he's gonna watch this time, I'm lying, but he said it was trash when he was with Ohio State.
Now he's out here doing
exactly. Now he's doing
why do you don't run?
Right, exactly. Now he's doing hyped up press conferences. And my brother like, yeah, Ohio strong. I don't want to hear that. Is he a guy?
Yeah.
He's starting off pretty good. They're 2-2 record last night. Blowout win over Pittsburgh 36. He went 16-30, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns. And CJ a guy, man. What y'all think about CJ Stroud 4 games in?
I think he's definitely a guy, and I think this is another example of what happens when you get a guy who actually has coaching behind him. And like, even though this is one team that, yes, they have a defensive head coach at D'Amico Ryans, but you have Pep, who's back there, who's coaching them up, who's putting them in the position to succeed, and also scheming up an offense that plays to his strengths. We've seen him make a lot of anticipation throws. We've seen he's yet to throw an interception, and so I think when you say is he a guy, absolutely, bro. I think it's just a matter of what Houston puts around him going forward. But I think that goes without saying. Like, he definitely is.
Hey, Dante, actually, Bobby Slowick is their offensive coordinator.
Pep is still the QB guy, right? Pep's still the QB coach, right?
I don't think so, because I know Pep was there with Lovey.
Yeah, I think they might have got rid of Pep.
Let me see.
Let's do a little Google search.
Their QB coach is Jared Johnson.
He is previously Pep Hamilton was previously head coach and general manager of the DC Defenders.
Yes, he was.
Of the XFL. So I think he's a free agent. I think he's a free agent right now. Yeah.
Okay, well, either way, putting a system around a young quarterback and allowing him to grow in that and having him get coached up, something that we haven't seen. And you've seen the results of that. And I think CJ is 100% a guy.
And it's only going to get better once they actually put some dogs in front of him. You know, that offensive line is atrocious. And he's still up here putting up, 94 for 151, already over 1,200 yards. Like you said, 0 interceptions, 6 touchdowns. Dude's a dog.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to former Chicago Bear, Jared Johnson. Because
I'm getting something out of this.
We're going to get something. Leaving out here with something.
We get rid of somebody.
But nah, man. Now, Bobby Slowick, he comes from the San Francisco 49ers organization, which D'Amico Ryans come from, which tells you a lot, fam. That they know offensive ball. And that's what they're doing over there. They don't really have, they do got a run game, but just to see CJ Stroud do that, what he doing with that team, for right now, even early, is remarkable because people was pegging them to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they still got time. You never know what might happen, but nah, man, that boy is a dog. It also even leading credence to why a lot of people like Keyshawn Johnson said that he was their number one pick in the NFL draft because of size, pause, and all of that stuff. So it's
that was
it's
definitely crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, but Keyshawn Johnson was all on TV like, no, I want CJ Stroud because he looks like a quarterback. I like my quarterbacks big, strong, can look over the line. Like, whoa, pause.
Another crazy comment.
Man. Yeah, but shouts out to CJ Stroud. I don't like Ohio State. So for me to give anybody from Ohio State some praise is good enough from there.
Yeah, I think CJ, man, he's got a great start to the season, man. I don't want to get too high or too low rookie quarterbacks, but I really like what CJ's been doing. I really like what Anthony Richards has been doing too. That nice little, even though they did lose, that nice little comeback against the Rams yesterday. But what CJ's doing, he looks confident. You know what I'm saying? He's getting the ball out quick. He has trust in his receivers. They're putting him in the right situations, which is what coaching is about. Something that as Bears fans, we know we've been screaming about forever. So I like what I see from CJ. I do think there's going to come a point in time during the season where defensive coordinators are going to pick up on his tendencies, and that's when you really see the difference between really good quarterbacks and stuff like that. So I do think he will have a couple rough games. That's what rookies do. But if you're a Texans fan, if you're DeMeco Ryans, if you're anybody in that Texans organization, you need to be ecstatic about what you see from CJ Stroud, man. So I'll say that. We're gonna do this one last topic, and then we're going to get into our MLB wild card coverage.
Real quick, in the essence of leaving here with something, I knew that name sounded familiar. Bobby Slowick's dad is Bob Slowick, who was formerly the defensive coordinator for the Bears.
All right. Currently defensive coordinator, man?
Nah, he was the defensive coordinator in the 90s.
I thought Eberflus.
Nah, he was the defensive. I'm talking about former. He was a defensive coordinator in the Bears for 93 to 98. So yeah, wow, yeah. So hey, man, all I'm saying is he's a potential head coaching candidate.
We will see. We will see. That's where we at right now, man. Come on, coaches in week 5. But this is what my life has resulted to. But let's start our last NFL topic before you go on to MLB coverage, man. Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not looking good. They are now one. What you say?
EU.
Yeah, 1-3, blown out by the Titans last night. You never want to get blown out by the Titans. 27-3. Joe Burrow 20-30, 165 yards, 0 touchdowns, and of course, very interesting comments from Mr. Jamar Chase after the game as he angrily told the Cincinnati media, and I quote, I'm always open. I'm always fucking open. Excuse my French excuse my language is what Jamar Chase said. Now, I'm not taking too much from these Jamar Chase comments because if you know anything about all pro wide receivers, they get very aggy when they do not get the football. So that is nothing new. We just saw AJ Brown getting mad about that a couple weeks ago. So I don't think that's too big. I'm going to keep saying what I've been saying on this show for the last couple of weeks. Y'all need to hit this thing. All right. Not right. Like, there's no way Joe Burrow is putting up his numbers. Putting up started. Bad. Playing fire. Made him the highest paid man in football. This season, you might just have to take this season as an L. I know a lot of people don't want to do that, especially so easy early in the year, but you might have to chop this up as an L and just get this man some rest. You need to get this man some rest because you don't want to mess up the rest of his career. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to mess up the rest of his career with that injury. Cavs are very close to Achilles injuries. Look what happened to Kevin Durant. Look what happened to Aaron Rodgers. You do not want this situation, especially with a quarterback who's already torn his ACL. So I think they need to sit this man. I don't think they will, but I think they need to sit this man. That to me is really just the core of their problems. I think everything else is pretty much status quo, but they have him rest up for a couple weeks, bring him back. I'm not saying shut him down for the season, but at least rest him up for a couple weeks. I don't know who their backup is, but they need to do something to be able to hold the fort down while he's out, because if he gets hurt, now this season is ruined, and even next season, depending on how long he goes. So that's what I think is the main problem in Cincinnati.
I mean, listen, I'm here for some wide receiver drama. It's been a long time since we've had like some real good wide receiver drama. I need Jamar Chase in his driveway like Terrell Owens in 2005 doing a press conference, okay, complaining about why they haven't sat Joe Burrow. And it doesn't make sense, right? Because they have weapons, but their offense is not terribly complex. They've got some problems in Cincinnati. I think it starts with sitting Joe Burrow down. But yeah, I'm here for the wide receiver drama. I am going to go ahead and take Jamar Chase's words to heart. Absolutely. Because I want the drama.
All right. Do you have the bang? Well, you got anything you got to say before we get up out of here? I know before we go to the baseball. Are you staying for the baseball segment? No, I know you're not a big baseball guy.
I'm a listen.
Okay.
I might need to. I might need to bet some money, but nah. Short and simple, man. Every team goes through this, like the Bengals. You know, every good team has that one off year. This is gonna be their off year. They do need to sit buddy ass down, but that's also why it's important to get you a competent backup. Because I feel like if they had a backup that they felt like that they were comfortable in, they wouldn't be in this situation. So this is kind of malpractice by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Definitely agree with that, man. Dante, anything before we move on?
Yeah, bro. I'm not panicking in terms of what Jamar said. He said that's just wide receivers speak. You know, he always wants the ball. And even when you watch the video, he laughed it off. He wasn't really like trying to shit on Joe Burrow. He just wants the ball, like every wide receiver does. So we've been pretty consistent with this message all year that, you know, you don't play around with calves because calves turn into Achilles. And that's the last thing that Cincinnati wants. So I think I'm not panicking, but I mean, if I'm looking at Joe Burrow, you can tell he's clearly not the Joe Burrow we all know. So it gets to a point as your season continues and you start losing these games. I don't, even though we all are kind of anti-tanking, it's just like, what are you doing? You're not tanking, but at the same time, you put somebody else in there and let them try to get it done. Because to Courtney's point, your offense isn't that complex, and you have weapons around your backup. So if you need your backup to play 4 or 5 games while Joe really sits down and gets right, that shouldn't be a problem.
Definitely. Let's move on to our last segment, man. Tomorrow is the start of the MLB playoffs, man. The wild card round. I love baseball playoffs, probably my favorite playoffs of everything, man, because of just how unpredictable it is, man. Tomorrow, wild card round kicks off, and we've got a special guest, man. We've got my guy Jake Mintz. He is one half of Cespedes Family Barbecue. He is one of the hosts of the Baseball and Bar-B-Cast, and he's also works for MLB on Fox. He does writing and video content over there. Jake, man, it is great to have you on the show, man. How you feeling?
It's always a pleasure. Yeah, that's probably too many jobs, right?
In America, you need as many as possible.
You need them. I don't get tired. I'm amped to be here. This is like the best time of the year. Weather starts to get cold in the Northeast, and playoff baseball, like you said it, it's just weird. Like weird crap happens all the time, every year. It's intense. I can't wait for it to get started tomorrow.
Definitely, man. Let's just get into it, man. So tomorrow we have 4 games. All 4 of the wild card series kick off. We're gonna start with Rays and Rangers. This will be in Tampa. Of course, for anybody who is not familiar with how the wild card series go, there are best of 3. So the first person to get the 2. All 3 games are at the higher seeds ballparks. So all 3 of these games will be in Tampa between the Rays and the Rangers. Tyler Glasnow versus Jordan Montgomery. Now, when we came on here before we actually started, when we had a little off here, I know Dante, you said you didn't like the fact that Jordan Montgomery was going to be starting in this one. What do you feel about this whole pitcher matchup?
I mean, starting a left-hander against that lineup full of right-handers is always sketchy, and especially when they're going to throw Glasnow game 1. So I wasn't a fan of that. But at the same time, with the Rangers, their biggest issue this second half of the season has been the health of their starting rotation. So they've been able to try to piece it together, and they've been able to survive, because I know going into it after the trade deadline, we all thought it was going to be the battle of Texas between the Rangers and the Astros, but fortunately things didn't work out for them that way. However, in this spot, bro, I wouldn't throw a lefty against the Rays. We know, like you said, like Jake said to his point, the playoffs get crazy, and one team that we know is veteran of all of that is the Tampa Bay Rays. It seems like over the last few years, we always see something like this with them. So I would try to, I wouldn't have went with Montgomery, but it kind of is what it is at this point. You got to put your best arm out there, and right now he's what they got.
Right, and like the Rangers have no better option. Right, desperate times call for bad measures. It's simple as that. They traded for Max Scherzer at the deadline for this exact purpose, and then he got hurt. They signed Jacob deGrom and gave him a bag of money over the offseason, and then he got hurt. And so they are left with what they have, right? And what they have is not ideal. So it's kind of like a beggars can't be choosers situation here for Texas. Now, the one thing with Tampa to remember, last year in the wild card round, they went to Cleveland and scored 1 run in 24 innings. And so that is a really crappy taste that is left in my mouth when I'm thinking about Tampa in the postseason. Now, Randy Arozarena has a much longer October track record, and he's incredibly fun to watch. And for that reason, I will go with Tampa. They've been dynamite at home all season long. Here's one thing to know about the Rangers, right? So they just finished their year in Seattle. If they had won on the season's final day, they would have gotten the bye. But by losing, instead of getting a week off and flying home, they had to fly from Seattle to Tampa, to play in less than 48 hours. Not exactly the best way to enter October.
Right. Definitely not an ideal travel schedule, which actually means a lot. Now, Courtney, you are on the front lines out there in Texas. You were sweating it out this weekend over that whole thing. What's your feel on not just this series, but kind of the way, I guess you could say, how they limped into the postseason? Well, what do you think about the Rangers and how they got here?
I mean, when I saw Nathan Eovaldi get shellacked a few weeks ago in his first start back against the Astros, what was that, like maybe 3 weeks ago? I'm like, yeah, I would rather this team just call it a season in September. I honestly would have preferred not making playoffs at all, just because I knew they would quite literally be limping in. And now they don't have
Come on now. You'd prefer to not be in the playoffs?
Absolutely. For them to fly from Seattle.
That is privilege speaking. Us Chicago baseball fans disagree with that.
Courtney, you don't have to take the flight. Like, you don't have to down the plane. What are you talking about?
You think I'm going to take time out of my work day tomorrow? I didn't even watch the game on Sunday because you know why? Because I've seen that film before and I never liked the ending.
It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. That pit in your stomach.
Like someone who's never been hurt by the Texas Rangers.
That is fair. However, as a lifelong Baltimore Orioles fan, I'm familiar with pain. Okay, so let me say, like, that pit in your stomach at this time of the year as a baseball fan, it is a different thing than any other sport because it is a slow burn, right? Yeah. In football, like, you can get punched in the mouth in the first quarter and that's it, and like, because of the way that baseball, the rhythm of the game is, it's just like this horrible, disgusting pain. It's like losing your keys over and over and over again, right? However, Courtney, that feeling is better than numbness at this time of year, okay? And as a Rangers fan, I am disappointed in you that you are opting.
I can own that.
I am disappointed in you. That's all I'm saying.
Can I say this as somebody whose team was projected to win the AL Central and now lost 100 games? Congrats. I would give up my firstborn to have the pit in my stomach to be like, oh man, I wonder what Dylan Cease is gonna do tomorrow on the mound. Instead, I gave up on them like in around Memorial Day. Like that's how long ago it was. I don't even remember. I think the Boston Celtics were still playing basketball the last time that I had any type of baseball to watch. So I'm with Jake on this one. You either take the pain that comes with the MLB postseason. Like, and one thing I'll say about this is I'll always have 2005. I feel bad for younger White Sox fans because let's be real, they're never going to experience that. Let's just be 100% real about it. They are never going to get that feeling that I felt for that month of October 2005, but I remember staying up. I remember the pit in my stomach. I remember the joy that I felt on the Scott Passegnet walk-off, the Paul Konerko grand slam, and things like that. And you as a Rangers fan, you remember that 2011 run. That was one of my favorite series.
I do remember. That's why I feel the way I feel now. Let me tell you, I'm going to watch this game tomorrow. But if it goes the way in my mind that I know it's gonna go, and I see a Randy Arozarena bat flip a la Jose Bautista 2015, I'm turning the game off and I'm never watching this game again.
You say that. See, when people are like, I'm done with this group. That's not how sports works.
I'll be back next year.
You'll be back next year. Yeah, you'll be back. Don't worry about it.
We always come back.
But what's your your kind of like, take the fan hat off, Courtney. What's your baseball analysis?
My baseball analysis is that they have not been hitting against the Rays very well at home, or away, I should say. I think the Rangers bats kind of went a little bit quiet this weekend, besides what they did to Castillo on Saturday. But I don't feel good about it. I got the Rays in 2. I don't think they have the depth of pitching, unfortunately.
I'm gonna say this as somebody who, like, from what I've watched this season, just how I kind of feel about teams that do slump into the playoffs. That might actually work in their favor, because one thing about MLB postseason is all it takes is for you to get hot. Like, it's literally even more than football. Like, because football, yes, any given Sunday, any given Saturday during the playoffs, but with baseball, if you get a pitcher who's rolling, now the pitching is the issue here, that's going to be something they can carry. So I think this is going to be a longer series than usual. I mean, than Courtney, than you're expecting. I will take Tampa. I will take Tampa in this one, but I think I'm going to go with Tampa in 3. But I think it's going to be a hard-fought series.
You say getting hot, right? Like, it's easier to get to 100 degrees if you're starting at 80, okay?
Yeah.
And the Rangers are starting below freezing. And so that's the problem here, right? Like, I trust Jordan Montgomery, actually, in game 1. I think he has been a huge bright spot for them in the second half, and I know Tampa's lineup's not great to face as a left-handed pitcher, but I think he's going to keep them in the game and get the job done in game 1. And the other thing, last point on the Rangers, Corey Seager is the most boring man in baseball by a mile, okay? But in October, that man has been automatic his entire career, right? And we saw him launching home runs in this stadium during the 2020 short COVID playoffs. Remember when they were playing in Texas, and he was just incredible in that stadium. So I think Corey Seager has a moment and helps them win one of the games. But yes, they do not have enough to beat Tampa.
Let's move on to our next series, man. We've got the Twins. I know where I'm going with this. The Minnesota Twins win probably the worst division in baseball. They had no competition, and they'll be taking on the Blue Jays. Now, at the moment, it's supposed to be Pablo Lopez versus TBD. We don't have a starter right now for Tampa. I'm gonna just say this about this. This is no actual baseball analysis from this season until the Minnesota Twins actually win a playoff series. I'm not picking them. That's pretty much where I'm at with it.
The last playoff series they won was the Moneyball A's, like the team from the movie, like in the movie. That is like a historical. Like they lost that series. The A's lost that series. Then they made a movie about it, and then a decade passed since the movie, and they still have yet to win another playoff series. Okay, just to put that in perspective. Think about all the things Brad Pitt did before and since filming Moneyball. Okay, it's been a long time.
It's definitely been a long time. I want to. I think because we all like on the same page with Minnesota. I want to talk about this with the Blue Jays, man, because I feel like the Blue Jays are one of those teams that over the last couple of years they've had a lot of hype. The way they've been building, with the way they've had with Vladdy and Bichette and everybody like that. Here they are in a wild card situation again. Do you think there's any hope for this team, or what do you think about them coming into? I'm gonna go to Dante first with this.
I mean, there's always hope when you have a young lineup like that, but at the same time, they've been extremely inconsistent, and every time we've expected them to take that next step, they haven't taken it. Like, even with Vlad this year, I think he ended the season like his runs created plus was like 118. So like that, he's not a guy that you expect to have a number that close to average, and that's been a consistent theme with this Blue Jays roster. And I'm gonna pick Minnesota to win this. I know Minnesota's pitching has been really inconsistent, but I think they have 2 really good starters that are going to give the Blue Jays trouble. And with Minnesota being the home team, I don't see them coming into that ballpark and getting too many runs, even though it has been a launching pad at times this season. But surprisingly, I know the history. I know we've seen them come in the wild card match after wild card matchup and get smoked. But I'm actually picking Minnesota in this one.
It's interesting. Courtney, what you got?
I also like Minnesota, and I know that's maybe not like the sexy choice, but if I know we don't know who's pitching yet for Toronto, but Minnesota notoriously does not hit lefties well. So I would personally start Gosman maybe game one. I don't know how much rest he's on right now, but I think that's honestly a good play to at least take game one. I think I like Minnesota. I think I like Minnesota in 3.
In 3. Jake, where are you leaning this? Are you with me as in you gotta wait till you see it, or you think that this is something that they can actually do this time?
So I think this is the best shot the Twins have had in a long time because their pitching is real. They led baseball in strikeout percentage this year for the first time in a long time. This is an organization that used to just get interchangeable, like Midwest corn-fed white dudes who throw 89, and they would just give up a lot of contact and ground balls, and that's how they try to get outs, right? Now they have the best strikeout rate in baseball. And so, like, that is a step forward. That is like a change in player development. That is a positive step for the Twins. However, the Blue Jays remind me a lot of last year's Phillies team in that they played below their station, below their capabilities for the majority of the season.
Yeah.
However, and they're just so talented. This is such a talented group. Like Vladdy and Bo Bichette and George Springer. These are guys who can carry you if they get hot. So maybe I'm betting. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. I like that team. If they get it to Toronto for any games, I think they can be trouble for the Astros in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear y'all are giving amazing baseball analysis. Now, this is probably just my half hater when it comes to the Twins. Like, if I can't have any joy as a White Sox fan, neither should y'all. I'm finna put on my Toronto Blue Jays hat. I'm finna play Drake all week. And we doing everything.
How many games does Toronto need to win for Drake to show up at a game? Because
that's a good question.
They've got to get to against the Astros. They've got to face the Astros.
Yeah.
And it's got to be Houston because he loves
show up in an Astros jersey.
He might.
I think he showed up in an Astros jersey at some point.
I hope he wears an Astros jersey all season because the Drake curse is very real.
Drake is a shameless sports fan, so I'm pretty sure he wore an Astros jersey because of some Houston stripper he was with. So I wouldn't be shocked at Drake doing that. There's
a picture of him with like Dexter Fowler, and they're both in Astros jerseys. So I mean that's not surprising.
Let's move on to the next series, man. This is another division winning team who suffered a blow, man. The other Central Division champion. It is the Milwaukee Brewers, who Milwaukee is having a great week. With Damian Lillard being the new guy. Here's another question: is Dame Lillard gonna throw out the first pitch in any of these series?
He has to. He has to.
Yeah, that's a layup, literally.
Yeah. That literally has to happen. Brandon Woodruff is out for the series, maybe even the playoffs with the right shoulder injury. That is a blow for them. Corbin Burns will be starting, and he'll be going up against. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. Is it Brandon Pfaft? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Fott.
Okay, there we go.
Fought.
There we go. Yeah. Brandon Pfatt. Okay, now
the P is silent. The P
is silent. Okay, perfect. Because one thing I do on this show, I mess up names, so I wasn't too far off this time. But to me, this is an interesting series because of what Milwaukee was like in a tight race for a little bit, and then the Cubs did what the Cubs usually do, and that's give up the draws, and then they really took advantage of that, and then. I think Arizona has been a pretty good story for majority of the season. Went through a tough, stretch where they were at, but they really were able to bounce back and be able to get back into the playoffs. I'm going to choose Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is the more experienced team, and I think even without Woodruff that they will be able to win this series. But I do think it's going to go the 4-3 in this one. But I'm going to go with Milwaukee.
I've been back and forth on this one. I didn't like the way the Diamondbacks ended the season.
Yeah.
Kind of backing into the playoffs, especially after the way they were playing just that entire wild card fight. Like you said, the injury does suck for the Brewers, and we know how much they rely on their pitching. And if anything happens for them, it has to be because of the pitching. So on this one, in this wild card, I'm going to go Brewers in 3. I agree with you. I think it's going to go 3 games. It's going to be a good series, and that injury will come up big next series. But I think they'll be able to manage, and they'll be able to beat the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks were a great story though this year.
Yeah, I think the Diamondbacks win. I'll take them in 3. I think the Woodruff injury is a huge deal because the gap between him and Milwaukee's 4th best starter is pretty big. The Diamondbacks are at a disadvantage here in that they don't have their pitching lined up because they clinched over the weekend, right? And so their best starter, Zach Gallen, is throwing game 2, and their second best starter, Merrill Kelly, is throwing game 3, which is not ideal. However, and this is maybe more of like an NBA style thought where it's like, who's the best player on the field, right? That's Corbin Carroll, and it's not close. Who's the best pitcher on the field? That's Zach Gallen, and it's not close. And so with 2 teams that are evenly matched like this, part of me is inclined to go with the star power every once in a while. And I think, like, Carroll is an electric player. If you folks haven't watched too much of him, for people watching, like, he is unbelievable. As a rookie, he had 25 homers and 50 steals. The first player to ever do that is crazy. Yeah. And so I think Arizona can put enough pressure with their running game on the Milwaukee pitching staff and Milwaukee's catcher to make things chaotic late in games. And so I'm going to go with Arizona in 3.
Yeah, with Brandon Woodruff being out, I'm definitely more inclined. I was kind of going back and forth. I do think it's going 3 games, but I definitely got to take Arizona in 3. I think Zach Gallen being in, and it's a disadvantage, obviously, that they won't have him for game 1, but having him for 2 and then Merrill Kelly for 3, I think that's going to do it, especially since they don't have Brandon Woodruff. That's tough blow.
Have you folks ever heard Zach Gallen talk?
Yes.
No.
It's like incredible, like Philly scumbag accent. Like he sounds like he's at the Phillies Super Bowl parade. It's the South Jersey, like, yeah, I'm excited to pitch. Can't wait to go. You know, like I can't really do it. But
so he sounds like a member of the Soprano family.
Yeah, but it's like I'm trying to get it's like go Birds. Like he's like a big. Hey, you think Clayton Kershaw could be the quarterback for the Eagles? He's like that kind of guy.
He's definitely trying to figure out why AJ Brown was yelling at Jalen Hurts a couple weeks ago. Like he's one of them type fans.
He's amped about the brotherly shove. Like that is something he is thinking about that all the time. I guarantee it.
He's watched the Kelsey documentary 4 times.
But he's watching the Kelsey documentary for Jason.
For Jason, right.
It's hilarious that anybody's impersonation of someone from Philly is just to say "Go Birds."
Go Birds.
Exactly. The only person who we don't know sounds like is Mike Trout. Like I have no idea. Like in the words of Stu got on Dan Le Batard, he said that Mike Trout could be sitting on my lap and I wouldn't know that was Mike Trout. Like, and we know nothing of that man. So I have no idea.
Mike Trout thing. Like one quick Mike Trout thing. I agree with you. He's like mostly nap time. Do you know that he is, and this is kind of a baller move, he's building his own golf course with Tiger Woods?
I mean,
like
he got
in South Jersey near his house. Mike Trout's like, well, you know, like I'm going to be hurt for the next couple of years, and I just got $426 million. So I don't like golf. Like, it's not my thing. I've played once in my life. Like, Jews don't golf. That's not really our vibe. But like, if I was a golf dude and had $426 million and 3 MVPs, like picking up the phone and being like, hey, Tiger, can you build a course in my backyard? That's pretty sweet.
That's definitely something Dante would do. The Dante is our
absolutely. Absolutely. That is a goal of mine.
Call Tiger Woods personally and ask him for a golf course. Yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
Tiger Woods and Tiger Hoods. Yeah. That would be the collaboration. Before we get to I want to get your thoughts on like the favorites with the guys who have the first round buys. We're gonna go to our last on wild card shit before we get to that. Phillies Marlins. To me, this is the most fun series to me that's out, and I think that's why it's got the top billing, the primetime billing on this one, man. The Marlins are great people by taking the Cubs up out of here. They're going up against the Phillies. Phillies will be in Philadelphia hosting the series. It's going to be Zach Wheeler, another guy the White Sox should have got, going up against Jesus Luzardo in this series, game one.
Quickly on Wheeler and the White Sox. You know that they offered him more money than
I
Phillies
did.
did? Yeah. That whole thing.
Yeah.
His wife wanted a little bit.
Yeah,
his wife's
which
like,
is understandable.
I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah, she was like, I'm staying there. So I wish she was there, not Dallas Cowboys. But I'm not going to go through that trauma again. Anyway, I think this is something where I'm gonna pick the Phillies just because they're more battle tested. Just the way they ended the season, I feel like they went on a little bit of run, and they've got you brought it up, Jake. Who's the best player in this series? It's Bryce Harper, and then I apologize for any and all Bryce Harper hate that I've ever said. That was more me lashing out because he's not playing at 35th and Shields. This dude is a monster. He had an incredible postseason last year, had a great World Series, and I think they're gonna be determined to try to get back to where they were last year. And I think that Trey Turner, what he's going to do. We all know Trey Turner as a resident of Los Angeles for almost the last decade. Trey Turner, I've seen what he's done against the Dodgers and what he did with the Dodgers.
Yep.
And I know that this is somebody who's playoff ready. And the Marlins are a fun story. I love Jazz. I love what Jazz is doing there. I like that whole team. Shout out to Jake Berger, who I'm glad that he gets to play winning baseball. I'm happy for Jake. I like how everything that front office has done. First female general manager to make the playoffs. I love everything the Marlins are doing, but I'm gonna take Philly, and I'm gonna take Philly in 2 games. But I think it'll be an exciting 2 games.
Yeah, and I agree. Shout out to Jake Berger and Jake and Courtney. If you haven't realized this is your first playoffs with us, one thing me and Scott do is every time I'm in the playoffs, we look around and look at the amount of Chicago White Sox that are contributing for other teams in the playoffs. So
that sounds really healthy.
Yeah, so definitely shout out to Jake Berger, man. They sold high on him, but the guy we got hurt. But no, I got Philly in 2. I think it's going to be an entertaining 2. But at the end of the day, like I know the Marlins story was good, especially coming back toward the end of the season to clinch. But this season against the playoff teams, they were 26-38. Big injuries in the starting rotation. Sandy's out for the year. Yuri's out. Luis has taken, I think, 1 at bat in the last 2 weeks or something like that. So, still trying to see where he's at. So that's one of those things where I think it's a great story, but it's about time for them to run out of steam. And this is probably the worst thing the Braves wanted to see because this is exactly what happened last year. Philly got hot, and then Philly's going to win this wild card series and come to Atlanta. So I got Philly in 2.
So I'm on this one the whole way. So I'm covering this series for Fox. I'm taking the train down from New York tomorrow. And I'll be at Citizens Bank Park in Philly all week. And then I will follow them to Atlanta when they win.
I'll say this, not to cut you off. It's better than where I'm going to be for the next couple days in D.C. watching the Bears get mollywopped again. So, much better place to be.
Sports is really an addiction, isn't it, huh?
It is an addiction, yes.
So I just want to give you guys some hope on this quickly. So, I'm not advocating to do this, but before I talk about the Phillies. So, I used to be a football fan. I grew up in D.C., but my whole family's from New York. And so I grew up a big New York Jets fan. Like, my grandfather took me to Jets training camp when I was 5. And I got to meet Curtis Martin. And I was like, that is so cool. So amazing. I have the jerseys. I was getting Jets stuff for Hanukkah. That was my life, right? They were good when I was in high school, like the Mark Sanchez teams. They went to 2 AFC championship games, right? Yep. And then the butt fumble happened. Okay.
And it's been all held in.
I have not watched an entire Jets game start to finish since the butt fumble. I quit cold turkey. I jumped off the bandwagon. I said to myself, the New York Jets are no longer providing joy in my life. I'm done. I'm done. And I've literally been done since my senior year of high school.
Now, didn't you just give me a whole spiel about how I shouldn't let the Rangers rob me of the joy of being a sports
you're
fan?
Wrong. Here's where you're wrong, okay? I am talking about the fandom as a whole. The sport of football was not my thing anymore. And the Jets only accelerated that process. You are in the playoffs, okay? If the Jets were in the AFC Championship game, I wouldn't be like, all right, time to bail. No, I waited until Mark Sanchez tumbled into some center's ass and completely change the perception of the team. Anyway, all I'm saying is, if things, faith and commitment in fandom is overrated. Like jump
It,
ship,
it,
jump
it,
ship if it gives you joy.
I
I
wish I
agree with
could.
you.
I've been able to mentally let go of the White Sox. The reason I'll never let go of the Bulls is because Michael Jordan told me as a kid that this sports life is supposed to be easy. He lied to me, so I actually should have a problem with Michael Jordan. But I will not let go of the Bulls because of the joy they gave me as a kid. The Bears is a sickness. I covered the team. This is my third season covering the team. Yesterday, my professionalism left my body after that Justin Fields interception. I sat up there in that press room for about 10-15 minutes before I walked down to the locker room and saw Justin Fields just defeated in the corner. Like I wanted to go give him a hug. Like it was that bad. And then watch Matt Eberflus do a word salad for the next 20 minutes. And I was just like, I need to stop. So I respect that you're able to pull away because I can't. It's like I'm glutton for punishment. So any woman out there who think that I can't go through tough times, the Bears are an example that I can.
Yeah, not me though. Like I'll bail if things get rough.
I
I'm
wish
out.
I was like that.
Like
I wish I could do that.
Anyway, let me just hop back to the Phillies.
Yeah, I don't want to rant on this.
No, you're good. You're good. The Phillies are electric. When that stadium is packed in October and that fan base is rocking, that place is special. It was amazing last year, and I can't wait to just get to witness ball there again. And the dude who I'm thinking a lot about is Kyle Schwarber, who is having one of the most bizarre seasons ever. I think his batting average is under 200, but he's still hitting first. And part of that is because he has 47 home runs. And part of that is because he sees more pitches per plate appearance than anybody else in baseball, right? Like he's he's like in the top 5. And so to have that guy hitting first is actually a big benefit to have a pitcher work in the first inning. He's super fun to watch. I'm a little worried about the Phillies left-handed hitters against the Marlins left-handed pitching. Jesus Luzardo is going to start game 1 for Miami. He's lefty. All the best relievers that Miami has, Tanner Scott, Andrew Nardi, those guys are lefties as well. That might change the way that my Philly goes about setting up their lineup, and it could neutralize Harper and Schwarber a bit. That being said, as cute and as impressive as the Marlins have been, the Phillies just have too big of a talent gap here, and so you have to pick them.
Definitely. Courtney, which way you got with this?
Yeah, I echo the same sentiments. I think Philly is way too much for Miami this season, especially without Sandy. And gosh, I can't remember who it was that said it, and it actually kind of gave me the same thought. Just because I know everyone's got the Braves and they're like the favorite right now. I really like the idea of Philly knocking off Atlanta again. Their rotation there being Atlanta is, I told y'all before, is just 2 kids in a trench coat. I don't know if I trust them over a long-term series, especially against what Philadelphia is doing right now. They have an absolutely stellar team. It's giving flashes of like 2014, 2015 Royals. I think I like Philly not just in this series, in 2 games, but they might go all the way. Is that bold? Is that bold?
It's not really. It's high. It's high voiced. It's high pitched, but it's not. It's a little bit on. It's a little bit. It's a little bit on the Larry Davis scale, maybe. But it's just not. It's not a hot take though. That's a perfect segue to what I want to get to before we get you up out of here, Jake. One, you're a diehard Baltimore Orioles fan, so I know you're having an amazing year. Tell me 2 things. One, how fun it's been to watch this Orioles season, and how far do you think they're going to go? Who should truly be the favorite between them or Dodgers and the Braves?
So you know that LeBron meme where he's like, "I can't believe this is my life."
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that's what being a Baltimore Orioles fan has been like. Their glow up has been so instant. And it is like the 99th percentile of what you dream of. And as someone who, a couple of years ago was in your shoes as a fan of a helpless team, I feel guilty, honestly, is how I feel, is the first feeling. And I need to move past that and let the joy in a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
Because it has been a remarkable year for this team. They have made improvements in tons of different areas. Their general manager, Mike Elias, has done a phenomenal job. Not just revamping the roster, but making the players that were already on it better. So there's this perception about the O's, and it's fair to a point. Like, they tanked for 5 years and got a bunch of top picks, and now they have Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson and Jackson Holliday, who's the number one prospect in baseball. And that's true. But in 2020, their starting outfield was Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Anthony Santander. And this year, that's their same starting outfield. The guys, when they lost 100 games, are now starting for them when they won 100 games. And that is a testament to the coaching staff at the big league level to develop those players once they're already in the bigs. And that's what's been most impressive about that team this year for me. Now, are they better than the Dodgers or the Braves? No, they're not. But that's okay. Sometimes not the best team wins a World Series, right? There's random chance involved. So I'm just amped to get to see it. Yeah. Exactly.
So, but between, let's say, if we doing like favorites, and because I know as somebody who, like I said, I have no shame being a bandwagon Dodger fan. I've been there almost 10 years. Everybody can kiss my ass if they think that I am being bogus. I don't care. I'm worried about their pitching. Who do you think the Braves should be the flat out favorite going into these playoffs?
Yeah, they have to be. The Braves have to be the favorite. It's one of the deepest, most dangerous, most formidable lineups we've seen in some time. They tied the all-time record for home runs in a season, the last game of the season. And they tied the record that was set in 2019 when the ball was like a freaking golf ball, right? It was juiced like a smoothie. That thing was crazy. And so for them to tie that record is really impressive. Am I worried a little bit about the pitching? Yes. I think Max Fried is going to be okay and will end up starting game 2. He just has a little blister injury. Spencer Strider it's been a weird year for him. He has struck out more. He has had a higher strikeout rate as a starting pitcher than anybody in the history of baseball, and his ERA is like 3.8. It's incredibly odd. He's given up very many untimely home runs. Even if that continues, as it did last year for him against the Phillies, I still think the Braves have to be considered the favorite. They're too good and too deep. And they won, what was it, like 11, 12 more games than the Phillies over the course of the season for a reason, right? And Ronald Acuna is incredible. So that's the thing I'll say. So I was in Philly. The Braves played them there earlier, or in the middle of September. And they had a 4-game set, and the Braves took 3 of 4, and they clinched in Philly. And in the first game, Acuna homered, and he did his whole incredible routine, right, where he's like hopping around and he's flapping his wings and he's like doing this and he's doing the Euro step and he's doing the LeBron thing. It's great. Like, it's fun. He's incredible. He gets to do whatever he wants, right? And the Phillies fans are like booing him like crazy. Next at bat, he walks up to the plate and the fans continue booing him. And there's this guy who walks in front of the press box and you hear him go, "Boo, he's too good." And that is how Ronald Acuna has been all season. The haters can scream all they want, but when you hit 40 whatever homers and steal 70 whatever bases, you kind of just have to shut the hell up.
In the words of Atlanta Prophet Future, you do what you want when you popping. We're gonna wrap this up with Dante before we end this. What you gonna be covering this Braves team? What's your thought on them coming into this postseason?
I agree with what everybody said. The main issue, even though the numbers may tell you otherwise, is the pitching staff. Outside of Spencer, who has had his issues, because I think Spencer is one of those guys where he's his ego gets the best of him at times. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to strike you out." But as we've said, any of us who watch baseball, everybody can hit a fastball. I don't care how great it is. If that fastball gets flat, which his does sometimes, and teams take advantage of that. So their pitching is my main issue. I think when you have an offense like that, like we've said all season, if that staff can just hold the other team to 3 or 4 runs, which a lot of times will lose you a baseball game. But you have an offense this year that's historically good, that can go out there, and we've seen them have a 3-run inning, a 4-run inning, a 5-run inning. So when you have those type of weapons at your disposal, I think it's important for that pitching staff to they really have to hold it together. That's my only concern. The matchup with Philly, just because we know how the NL East is and the familiarity between the teams, I think that could come back to bite them. And I agree. Well, after Philly beats Miami, this is definitely going to be a matchup that they were kind of like, fuck. because Miami, I think they would have just washed Miami. That would have been no issue. So going against Philly in the history from last year and seeing how Philly came in, and Philly's going to have that confidence where it's like, well, no, we know we can beat you. Whether we're a wild card team or not, we know we can beat you. So I still have the Braves as my favorite because of that offense and everything we've seen throughout the year and just how balanced the lineup is. But it's going to be interesting. And that starting staff, I think the Pen, they've been able to piece it together throughout some injuries, but I think that staff is going to have to come up big for them. So if they can do that, then you'll get them in the World Series.
So I think one last point. Last year's series between these two teams is a really interesting indicator. Because why did the Braves lose last year? They lost last year to the Phillies because Max Fried had a stomach bug in Game 1 and was vomiting in a trash can. Right? And
Yeah,
was bad.
exactly.
And then in Game 3, Spencer Strider was injured and throwing 92 miles an hour and got crushed. Right? And that's really why they lost, was those two games. Now, you can say that's bad luck, and you could say it's kind of like an aberration, or you can say, hey, heading into this year, if that matchup's the same, anything can happen in a 5-game series, right? So I think it is both a warning for Atlanta and a reminder that last year was a little bit of a fluke. And then the last time we saw Atlanta before that was when they won the World Series in 2021. Yep. So, like, you know, I think this team is the best team in baseball, and whether or not they win the World Series, I will leave the season thinking that they're the best team in baseball. And I know that's not how American sports works, like playoffs, right? If we really wanted it to be fair, we would run this like the Premier League. Like, oh, you get the most wins, here's your trophy. We don't do that, right? Yeah. But I will leave the season because of what Acuna did and because of what Matt Olson did. Like, this was the year of the Braves for me, whether or not they take the title.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with all those sentiments, man. I think it's going to be Dodgers, Braves in the NLCS. I think that'd be a very entertaining series. But I'm with you. I think it should be the Braves. I think it's the Braves. Yeah, they've been this dominant the entire season. Offensively, they're great. They just need the pitching to hold up, and I think that they should be able to ones to come up on top of everything, man. So, Jake, man, we appreciate you joining us. Please let everybody know where they can get in tune with you and what coverage can we expect you doing in person.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I will be writing daily at foxsports.com. Most of you folks probably have the app. You have the Fox Sports app on your phone where you watch like Fox football games and Fox baseball games, right?
Yeah.
On that app, all that stuff's on there too. So you can follow me, you can follow baseball, you can follow the teams. It's actually, I'm not just simping for my employer. The app is awesome. They do a good job. So I'm writing there every day. I'll be on the National League side following the Braves, the Phillies, and then covering the NLCS and the World Series. So my suitcase is packed and I'm ready to go. And then we will be podcasting every single day for SiriusXM. You can follow us. It's the Baseball Bar-B-Cast, B-A-R-B-Cast. What else? Oh, I coach 10U travel baseball in New York City. So
that's fire. Yeah,
that's actually what I really care about. So if you coach, if you're watching this, you coach travel baseball in New York, just watch out. My kids are coming for you.
He putting it out right now. The challenge. Watch, he's coming, man. Jake, man, we appreciate you joining us, man. It's always great to talk baseball with you, man. So much success to you and everything you're doing.
I love the work you folks do. Like, it's outstanding. I'm not watching everything because, like I said, I do not care about football. Yeah. But the baseball. Sorry, Bang. I know you've been silent this entire time, but the baseball stuff, I lap it up.
No, I've only been silent because 1, I was taking notes. 2, I was taking bets.
Taking gambling notes.
I'm taking gambling notes, Jack.
Hit me up for gambling notes separately, okay? If you need anything,
and lastly, even though I know everybody's pick is the Dodgers, because I spent time in the area, I am silently rooting for the Baltimore Orioles go to the World Series and win. I do believe it has been way too long since a team like the Baltimore Orioles to be in the spotlight. The last time, I think it was really like the early 90s with the Yankees when my man had caught the
ball. Yeah.
That grabbed the ball and stuff like that. But I was a big Cal Ripken fan. I learned how to bat like Cal Ripken when I was playing Little League. And then also with Brooks Robinson passing away, there's normally a tendency of the baseball gods shining a light
It's gonna get
on
real
it.
weird up in Camden Yards.
a
Love it.
team
Yeah.
like that.
That big ass wall.
So just to
Yeah.
let you know, this is the first ticket from Camden Yards and the last ticket from Memorial Stadium. So my whole family is from out Washington and Baltimore, and I was born the day Cal Ripken tied Lou Gehrig's record.
Wow.
My grandma left my mom in the hospital alone and went to the game because she had tickets. So like I
First
have
of
no
all,
choice.
that makes me feel old, and then that's
know.
fucked up. That's-
I know. That's good parenting, man.
She said, "We'll be back. We'll be back."
She's
Right.
like, I have grandkids and like I'm gonna have more, but like Cal's tying this record today.
I
Sorry.
get it. I get it.
Shout out, my
Shout
guy
out
Mike.
Grandma.
Shout out my guy Mike. He's a diehard Cub fan, and his daughter, who was about to turn 7, was actually born hours after the Cubs won the World Series. And he said his child's mom almost got him kicked out of there. He was yelling so much. So that's his. I think we lost. Yeah, I don't know what's up with going on with StreamYard, man. StreamYard be kicking niggas out. I'm gonna have to see what's
Hating
going
on
on.
us.
Yeah, they hating on us, man. But we appreciate Jake for coming on and talking baseball with us, man. We're going to wrap this episode up with talk about Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, man. We got this in about an hour and 15, where it is the New York Giants taking on Geno and the Seattle Seahawks. Which way y'all looking at this game, man?
Geno. I'm going with Geno and the Seahawks, man. I think the Giants is Saquon playing today?
No, he is not.
Yeah, you losing a piece of like Saquon to that offense, man. I know they want to put more of the effort onto Daniel Jones and make him do more, but just because you pay the guy don't mean he's the guy. So I'm a rock with Geno. Geno's been doing really good things with that with Pete Carroll and that offense. So I'm gonna go Seahawks.
I am also rooting for the Seahawks and an early bedtime. Very much looking forward to not having to watch the second half of this football game. I just don't understand the Giants Daniel Jones hype. It just, like you said, just because you pay him doesn't mean he's the guy. He's not the guy, and that offense is going to be stunted even more because they don't have Saquon. I got the Seahawks by at least 10 points.
Look at us on the same page, Courtney.
Wow.
Seahawks by 10.
I'm with y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna do y'all even one better. Seahawks by 21. I think this one's gonna be over very quickly. And this will be background noise for me. So I think it's just like you said, Courtney. Like you can pay a guy like he's a franchise quarterback. It don't make him a franchise quarterback. This dude is Huff, Your Honor. This is really what it comes down to with Daniel Jones. The only thing that's even watchable with this team is Saquon. He's not playing. Darren Waller was a good pickup when you got a quarterback that's as bad as Daniel Jones. And this is how bad I think Daniel Jones is. We were just talking about Zach Wilson. I like Zach Wilson's upside way more than Daniel Jones. Now that don't really mean nothing. I don't think he's gonna reach it. But that's just kind of like how I look at it. We Daniel Jones got paid because he went against a historically bad defense in Minnesota in the playoffs, and that's just pretty much what it is. I love what Seattle's doing. I love what Pete Carroll's been doing with Geno, and I just really love to see Geno actually make it and be that guy. And we see like the NFL films stuff where he's talking to Jackson Smith and Jigba and telling them like, yo, I need you, get your head in the game, being a leader. So I like everything you were doing. And we also see that it was Pete Carroll and not Russell Wilson. So I like what Seattle's doing. And I think Seattle's going to win this game pretty easily.
Hey, time out. Did you just say a nigga name right?
I did. Yeah,
you did. Hey, there we go, boy. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. G. I like that.
Yeah,
he said that with no hezzy. He says smooth.
Exactly. You see me out here. I got only reason I know that because I had him on my draft board for the Bears. I had to practice. I'm like, I'm not to talk about this nigga consistently. So that's all we got. But that's all we got for this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Like I said, there's no Friday show. I will be traveling back from Washington to Los Angeles. I will be back in Los Angeles. I have not been there in a month. Y'all don't understand how much I can't wait to sleep in my own bed. I haven't been able to sleep in my own bed in a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. My phone will be in the Pacific Ocean if you're trying to reach me this weekend. So good luck to that, trying to reach me at 3 p.m. Pacific time on Friday, because I will not be paying attention to anything going on in that device that Steve Jobs created. So I want to thank everybody who's been watching the show, man. We 8 episodes in, so we will be back next week. We'll be back to our regular 2-episode format next week on Mondays and Tuesdays. We'll be getting ready to talk some division series. One thing about the baseball playoffs, they move fast. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, man. Once again, shout out to Jake Mintz for joining us. Follow everything he's doing. Is there anything y'all want to talk about? Shout out before we get up out of here.
Like you said, bro, I'll be covering the Braves on MLBBro.com, so I'll be out there Saturday for Game 1. Just tap in with me. More content as usual. It's going to be a good playoffs.
No doubt about it. I'm ready to get hurt again. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Hey, don't get hurt. All right, protect your heart. Any way, shape, or form.
I gotta pull a Jake and simply stop watching baseball. That's the only way this is gonna happen. Because I know both of my favorite teams are just unfortunately gonna come up short this year.
Well, it could be worse. You could have Chris Getz running your baseball organization. So
exactly.
Be thankful. Be thankful.
I'm about to send that new episode of First Black Champ your way, Scott. Shouts out to Camp from the Port. Find out why him and Twalib Kweli was going back and forth for
they
about
like
a
the
week
chicken
and
Peter Griffin on Family Guy.
Man, I don't know what the hell was going on.
Talib Kweli, actually, pretty sure he still blocked me.
I'm pretty sure he probably did.
He's a weirdo on social media.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
So we got that. And hey, man, Kevin Warren, do what you need to do on Friday.
Bunk suit. Anybody who knows anything about the DC area, please tweet me your food suggestions, because I got a lot of time to kill Thursday afternoon.
No food. Hey, ain't no food suggestions. Just DC? Find some shit.
Ain't no good food in DC.
Go where the spirits and our ancestors guide you.
Nothing too great. Get your Chinese food. I don't know.
They gonna try to get you.
There are a couple areas you should probably avoid. I'll send you some Googles. I don't want people coming at me in my DMs.
Yeah, send me those,
look.
Please.
Avoid agriculture.
Hey, look, man. It's somebody. I mean, maybe because I worked in radio, but I've been all over that place. I felt right at home until they was like, "Yo, what we gonna eat?" And they didn't produce anything. They might ask you to eat some mambo sauce. Mambo sauce is how we think about mouse sauce. Exactly. So with that being said, fam, as Courtney, go where God takes you, because they ain't like us, fam.
Let Pavy know right now, because Pavy's rolling with me. There's no Soho House in Washington D.C., young man. All right, so there'll be no bougie dining.
Well, no. If you want bougie dining, I think it's called the Hamilton.
The Hamilton.
I had to ask my man.
Cocktails. I know they just opened one of those.
They for the niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's for the niggas. Well, Bang, you know Pavy. Is he going to that establishment? Absolutely.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Pavy will not be there.
I think it's the Hamilton.
That had their food catered by kitchen and cocktails. The shit was fire. So
yeah, but it's still a little bit too niggerish in that spot for Pav.
Yeah, Pavy ain't going there with his Rock $500 t-shirt on. Like, you know.
Yeah, if you're standing up on the couch, up on the couch, you know what I'm saying, listening to go-go music, that's not for Pav. Pav is for fine dining and orchestras in the back.
And models.
So I think Hamilton. I think if I'm right, I think it's Hamilton, which is the spot where it's like hella bougie. So that's the spot.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to that, man. So like I said, we back next week. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. You know to follow Dante at Octoberzone Tate on Twitter, at D Miles on Instagram. You can follow Courtney at 1-800-CALL-A-BRO on both social medias. You can follow JR Bang on everything at JR Bang. Follow the Barberchair Network at BarbersChairNet on Twitter and Instagram. Patreon.com/Barberchair Network. There won't be any summer sessions today. I forgot about summer sessions, but I'm not gonna lie, I double booked. So we'll be back next week, niggas. So and then Bang can tell you about his return to Atlanta I definitely looking forward to hearing about that story, and I'm pretty sure me and Pat will have some DC stories for y'all next week on Summer Sessions, man. So y'all enjoyed Monday Night Football. Y'all enjoyed this week of baseball playoffs. Y'all enjoyed Week 5. We'll holler at y'all in a week.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna